These are just leftover beers from the last party we had. There was a bunch at my house, so we I think we had them up here for that last live podcast. We had brought a bunch of beer, and then the next day is we did our planning for our trip this year. So we were all buying more cases of beer while we're sitting here trying to figure out what destinations we're going to go to and things like that. So. Yeah, needless to say, I have 12 packs out the ass right now of all kinds of shit. And then we actually threw some away. Like, I don't drink Miller Lite and things like that. Yeah. So I was like, get rid of that shit.
Shit, it's cold. It works.
All right, so just keep the mics close like this whenever you talk. That way it's, it picks it up good.
I can barely hear you.
Hear mine?
Yeah. You like Rick Bobby?
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Ryan, can you say something here? Hey, what's up? I can barely hear him too.
Hello.
Can you hear me? I can only hear him. Only Donnie.
Let's see. It's always fun when you start a podcast and things don't work. Yeah. Can they hear you? We're gonna get it right one day.
Good to
But
go.
they can hear us. Now's when you want to have your live.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
As long as that thing's bouncing over there on the right, then that means they have audio.
Yeah. I can hear it now.
Is it good? This one right here is the master volume. So, all right. I guess we're going now.
All right, let's go.
All right, Ryan. I like saying your whole Instagram name. Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
It's the best.
Because it's like, I don't know, it just rolls off the tongue. You know, like some people have that first and last name you have to say together?
Right, yeah.
It's kind of like your Instagram name.
Yeah.
It's just.
That's like he made that, and he's like, check this out. And I'm like, damn, dude.
Well, since that movie's came out,
It's like, you got to call me Nighthawk now, because
at least once, somebody's always saying, shut the fuck up, Donnie. So,
he got his new stickers, too. It's got the Donnie from Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah. You ended up doing those?
yeah, but they forgot to put the Instagram on the bottom of it.
Oh,
It's all good.
It's all good. Well, the Instagram names is kind of like, I feel like the evolution of it's kind of come along because when we all first got on Instagram, remember, let's back that shit up. You remember back in the day, like the first MySpace or where you had to actually pick a username? It was always like something 05, like the year you graduated or the birth year.
Whatever car you had. Or
Yeah.
You got to pick your top friends.
It's like after years, it's like evolved into these like more elaborate situations and stuff. The best one is Kyle Rittenhouse's.
Four doors more horror.
That was good. Yeah.
That was the shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
man.
Makes me want a 4-door, man.
Oh, Kyle's Jive Ass Honky. That one still kills me every time I see that pop up in my
Dude,
feed.
when I first met him and he told me his Instagram name, I just like I hit him with the really? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, it fits you. It fits. You know what I'm saying? So there's some people like that have shit like that. Our other buddy, Yertle that turtle. I have no idea where the fuck that come from, but it works. Who else has a funny ass Instagram name? I'm responsible for a lot of people's Instagram names. I have actually knighted a lot of people on Instagram with some fire ass nicknames.
Jaden's is one of them, I thought.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
But yeah, it's all been good. So, you guys are from Oklahoma City. You originally from there, both of you, or what?
Yeah. Oklahoma.
Born and raised?
Born and raised,
Born and
yeah.
raised.
Yep. Kind of, I was in the country, though. I grew up in the sticks working on farms and stuff, and one day we're sitting at the shop, and he's like, your parents were pretty loaded and everything. And I was like, no, dude. I came from, nothing.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, dude, I couldn't believe it.
So what part of what area?
South of, you know where Newcastle's at?
No, not really. I only know where the things that touch the main highways to get in and out of Oklahoma City.
Like the big casino, Riverwind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just across from that.
Okay, so like the south end. What's the
west
shitty
side.
part of Oklahoma City?
Oklahoma City.
The whole thing.
Very much.
Yeah, it's
My wife lived there for quite a few years after she got out of high school.
yeah.
Because her family lives in Yukon.
That's right. I lived there for a little bit.
And so she moved from Cali to there, and then was there for about 4 years, and then she moved to Florida.
Yeah.
And so she still has family up there, so we go up there quite a bit. But just to like Yukon, and I think one of her grandmas lives in Yukon, the other one lives kind of closer to the city.
Like Bethany,
But-
probably something like that.
Yeah, but still on the outer loop, I guess, if you have loops. I don't know. I know there's a highway that goes north and
Right
south
to the middle.
on the west side of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how's the bike scene up there?
It's here and there. I mean, you got to find it.
Pull the mic closer. You got to keep it
Yeah,
close.
you got to find it.
Yeah.
You can't just. It's not like down here at all. Y'all got something every weekend, and shows, and people are riding here, riding there, up there. I mean, you can hardly find anybody that wants to go do
For
anything
real.
other than sit at a bar. It's not really.
Y'all have more terrain though within a reasonable distance, or how's that?
Yeah, for most people. But a lot of the guys that are up there think 50 miles is a excursion.
Yeah, that's a big ride for them.
Yeah, it's like a long track.
Yeah. Well, it's different too. We're getting more into kind of the style of stuff that y'all are doing.
Yeah.
Donnie kind of turned my head to that and came down and checked it out. One time, and it's slowly coming up there, but it's not. And it's a totally different bike scene than like the big wheel stuff, and which I mean, whatever, it's its own thing. But like, you're not. Those guys are gonna go hang out and do
Yeah,
stuff.
well,
We're
with
not-
the big wheel stuff, even like it seems like Tulsa's always had like a little pocket of things going on.
Yeah.
Then obviously, not that Woodward is a big town for bikers, but
Yeah,
with Covington
no,
there,
yeah.
They've always kind of been a powerhouse in the industry.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely, yeah.
But yeah, like when you talk about Oklahoma City, like even back in the day when I was in all the club stuff, like I still like there wasn't a whole lot going on in Oklahoma City. It always felt like Tulsa.
Yeah,
or
that's
if we were going to Oklahoma, we were just going to the casino across the border and back.
Hop across the river.
Wichita has shit going on from what I remember.
So I got to go up to Wichita for a show up there. It was like the show bike stuff.
Yeah.
Invitational thing. I went up there, and the bike scene is actually pretty good up
Yeah.
there. I got to hang out with some of the Law Tiger guys up there, and they had a lot more going on than I actually thought they did up there.
Well, I wonder if it's because Wichita. I wonder how far Kansas City is from Wichita. Is it like probably the distance is Tulsa is to you guys? I would imagine.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it also feels like another state to us
Yeah.
when we go up there. I mean,
It's like it's fucked up because the main road is like it's a toll road the whole fucking way.
yeah, it sucks. It's
bullshit.
finally not so bad to drive up there because the road's a lot better. But it used to. I mean, it's 2 lane. Just
Yeah.
hopping the whole way. It sucks.
Wow. I've actually grown to like Oklahoma quite a bit with the riding. Like, obviously, where we do the Campout, it's beautiful out there in southeastern Oklahoma. You guys got the Turner Falls area that's pretty dope. But I
Yeah.
don't know if there's really like a lot of riding per se in that. It's just
To
more
get
of a
there, it's not really fun.
Yeah.
Most of our stuff up there is like he was saying, 50 miles. You've got to go the same thing that you've always drove, and you're just like, man, this.
Yeah,
just
the
wanna
in and
be
out
there.
is tough.
Yeah.
But I love the rolling plains of like western Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Like that vibe. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just in a western thing right now. I'm into that shit, but dude, like I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And then all the history with all the Indian stuff up there is pretty wild too once you look into all
But
that.
you can tell like that's where it happened.
Yeah.
When you're riding out there, it's just nothing. So
Yeah,
that's
fucking.
pretty-
My daughter lives in Lawton, and that's a weird fucking place because it's
Shady
like
580.
so,
That's what we call it.
it's just like this flat ass area, and there's just like one mountain there.
Compton down there, man.
Then a military base right
Yeah,
there.
in the military base. Yeah. I don't know. It's like Oklahoma is like just behind the curve itself, but I
Yeah.
think there's a lot to offer though.
Our
Personally,
midtown and downtown has like really opened up quite a bit, and it's more. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of Texas, up there.
would you say that like when y'all got a basketball team that really helped liven up the downtown area, like the Bricktown and all that type of shit?
It brought it to life, but then they used to you could watch the game outside the stadium, and all that stuff, and typical city stuff. People were getting fights and they shut it all down. So,
Yeah.
that kind of ended. So it made it to where you really, if you were going to the game, you had to be a basketball fan and pay for a ticket. You couldn't just go to the experience,
Oh, yeah.
So, but no, I feel like once we got a pro team there and all the little bars and stuff started catching on, that's when everything started to flourish.
Because I've always just been a heavy college. Oklahoma State, all that shit. So
Yep.
Talking about that on the way down here.
Sports balls.
Sports balls is what I call it. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really. I'm not a huge sports guy either, but at the same time, like if you understand, there is a direct correlation to certain towns having more amenities based on sports teams and things like that.
100%.
So, our in downtown Dallas, where they probably when they built American Airlines Center, maybe 15, 20 years ago almost, when they built a new arena and completely skyrocketed that whole side of town with skyscrapers and bars and restaurants, and it just brought a whole new life to it. You know what I'm saying? So same thing happened with the Cowboy Stadium when they put that in Arlington. That whole area is turned into fucking huge.
Yeah.
They did the same thing in Oklahoma City when Thunder came in.
Yeah.
They started put that park in. And,
Oh yeah, there's a whole. It's like
gigantic park.
I don't know. It's just
Convention
a big park that
center
goes
and
right
all
through
this.
the middle of downtown now.
Yeah.
And they've got outdoor stadiums and.
We were
for
planning on doing the
concerts and
Polar ride to Oklahoma City
Yeah.
next month. So you think we're gonna freeze our balls off or what?
stuff. It's cold
Balls
up there
is-
right now. Yeah, it's cold up there now.
It's cold right now.
It's in the teens.
It's
How-
Oklahoma. It could be.
But how do you think it'll be party wise? Like what area do you think would
You're
be
gonna
the
have
area?
to go to the right places because
Yeah.
if not, you're not gonna have a good time. A bunch of Karens and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
I can see Oklahoma chicks looking like Karen too.
Oh, they will
yeah,
chase you down and their kids.
yeah, yell at you. Yeah, it's good. Something else up there.
Yeah, that's cool. So how did you how did bikes get into your blood? Like, is it something your
Man,
family did or what?
My family was all cars.
Yeah.
We always had old cars. That's what I grew up around. Dad had a shop, and all my uncles and everybody was mechanics and stuff like that. So, I'd done the car thing, and I've been around that, and I seen a Harley, and I was like, dude, this is like a hot rod on two wheels. Like,
Yeah.
So I wanted it, so I went and finally got me one, and done it. When I was getting it, my friends were like, oh, that's an old man bike. What, are you gonna put tassels and stuff on it too? And I was like, no.
Yeah, dude, wait.
No,
Next check.
You don't know what I want to do to it. And as soon as I did it, like, oh man, you got my bike that I want and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, it was a lot cooler once you ended up getting into it, and it just kind of took over, and just started doing it. And so,
When it comes to motorcycles, if you're from a world of tinkering, whether it is on old hot rods or restoring and things like that, you have a lot of skills that you really can't apply it to many other motorcycles.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Harley fits the best for that type of work. It's built for gearheads. When I started working on them, I always tried to I was like, oh, it's a Harley, I can't mess this up,
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, this is stupid. Like, this is the easiest stuff, you got to dumb it down a little bit for you, and be like,
Exactly.
okay, this isn't so bad, So once you got in that mindset, you're like, okay.
Yeah, every once in a while, when I have to do some mechanic work, I think to myself, there are a lot of really ignorant people that know how to work on these proficiently. So I'm sure I can figure it out pretty quickly.
But you're overthinking some of
Yeah,
it
it's
probably,
like-
and you're like, oh, man.
It can't be this simple.
Yeah, it's not complicated, and like I said, it lends itself to people that are coming from those other backgrounds. Because I grew up in a car centric family as well, and man, painting cars sucks, dude. I don't know if y'all have ever dealt with any of that shit, but
it's not fun.
it's a long term relationship when you're painting cars and you're doing the kind of quality of work that you want to put out. But when you're customizing shit and the Harley, there's so many areas. If you're a fabricator, you're a painter, or you're just someone that tricks it out, makes it look better, things like that. It's just the perfect canvas, man.
Yeah.
And then if you actually like riding them,
even better.
Better, yeah.
yeah.
There's tons of opportunities for people to, do something with a bike, and Harley's.
So what was the first things you started doing to yours?
I attempted painting because I didn't like the color that mine was, and realized that's not for me at all. And then I started doing the bolt-on stuff like handlebars, pipes, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it just kind of took off. You know, my friends would bring me crappy parts and a case of beer, and they're like, man, make this fit my bike. So like you would take this junk and try to like stick it together, you know, whatever, you know, make stuff that shouldn't be on the bike fit. And then it just kind of opened my eyes to it. And I was like, dude, I can, if I go down the right path, you know, I could make some money off this. So
I mean, that's honestly how it works. I mean, a lot of people think that bolt-on stuff isn't like as cool as it is, but dude, I get so many phone calls every week about handlebar installs and that type of work that people are looking for. Hey man, I bought a set of bars, or I need to get these put on, or I want to buy a set of bars. It's one of the most common things that gets a phone call. It's like, you do 3 sets of bars a week, like that's a good fucking paycheck.
Pay your rent.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I've always looked at it like that's. I mean, I did that shit too, man. That was a good way to kind of get used to working on the bikes. A little bit of wiring aspect, a little bit of fit and finish. Yeah. You know, learning how to.
It's not like a car. You know, you can't just loom it up and just zip tie it to the frame.
Stuck it under a fucking carpet.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get a little more creative with some of that stuff. Yeah. Especially trying to, you know, everything's getting looked at.
That's
for me,
the fun stuff, though, man. For me,
he gets into his little work area laid out, and you know he'll have all his wire kits and all that stuff, and I'll come back over and it's like a tag frame, like wire loom, like. Whoa.
So,
like, have you messed a lot with the CAN bus stuff, or is this more like the 12-volt system stuff?
Yeah, CAN bus. I haven't really been. I've been working with Ryan, 7 months now?
Yeah.
But I was an aircraft mechanic for 27 years. A&P, I was in the military, and I finally, after fighting with the VA for years, I got my 100% disability.
Nice.
And as soon as I got that, I worked at Tinker as a civilian. I was like, fuck you guys. I retired from there. And I didn't do shit for 2 years. My cousin owns OKC Chop Shop, Shelby. And Brian, I was a fixture at their shop for 2 years. Should have been on the payroll, but they put up with me that long. I don't know how. Because customers come to our shop now. I'm like, man, don't you have a home?
Yeah.
But I think we all start
You're like
out
a
that
shop
way.
lizard.
I was. But I've been on motorcycles since I was 4.
Yeah.
Racing. I got my first Harley in 1997.
What was it? Softail?
It was a 1958 Panhead.
Oh, shit. Okay, then.
That I couldn't start.
Joke's on me.
I couldn't start it. I had to have my dad start it for me. Because I raced motocross. My knee's done.
Yeah.
It's like a wet noodle down there.
No, I know what a wet noodle is.
And so I got rid of that. And I guess what my second one was, kind of was a Softail, but had a Sportster motor in it, one of those Atlas frame Softails.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
those?
Joe Martin used to build a couple of those things.
Yeah, this was like 99 when I had that bike.
Was it more like a fuck, man? I'm trying to place myself back there. What style of bike was that?
Okay, it was a regular, like a Softail standard frame.
So it still had like a swing arm and everything.
Swing arm, just like it had a Sportster engine in it.
All right.
Yeah, it had a big old gap where the oil tank should be.
Yeah, gigantic gap back there. You could throw
So Joe Martin used to build these things where he would take those Sportster motors and Buell motors, and they were like real low. You know, his style has always been low and long, but they were kind of like these kind of tighter. Like they looked like fun as shit to ride, but he would use Sportster motors, and that's why like the first thought that popped in my head when you said that, I was like, yeah, no, I was like, no, I don't fucking know.
it's a Atlas frame. Is it who made it? I don't. Brian's got one down at the chop shop right now. They're putting together.
Yeah.
But that was my second Harley. I didn't have that very long because it was kind of gay. So
it didn't stay.
Was it? Well, choppers kind of changed a lot around that time. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
that was when Jesse and
everybody was coming around,
just blowing up.
Different style bike.
Different style. You know?
Yeah.
And my dad was always into Harleys. He always had shovels and iron head Sportsters for some stupid reason. He liked them things. I don't know why.
I've worked on one of those. Fuck that.
I don't work on them.
That was a horrible time.
Yeah.
The kickstart, the ratchet, and all that stuff in it. Ugh.
There's a part, man. I really want to fuck with those old bikes because I appreciate the fuck out of them, but I just don't know if I have the patience yet to not that it takes a lot of patience. I just don't know if I have the patience to want to work on it more than ride it.
Yeah, they're more annoying.
You know.
They're cool. I mean, the chopper guys, man, it's like you see them out there and they're all grungy doing their thing with their little bitty handlebars and stuff. I'm like, dude, that looks pretty cool. You know, it looks like a good time. But I'm like, I've worked on those bikes and I'm like, I don't want to do that every day.
Well, I feel like there's a vibe that goes with some of those guys because it's like it's all about not spending a lot of money and getting on the low. But then when you actually, not that they don't, but just saying like if it was in my boat, I'm like, well, I can just go buy this new real quick. I'd rather just buy a new one than waste my whole day at a swap meet trying to find a used Mikuni.
Yeah.
Like, I just buy a new one for the peace of mind knowing that it's good. You know what I mean? And then that takes away the cool
It's like
vibe
that
because
hot
now
rod
that's
mentality. You know?
yeah.
You know,
Well, in a hot rod, it makes sense. Like if you're trying to build a period correct bike or car, then you have to go find period correct parts.
scavenger hunt.
Exactly. So, and then if it's not a popular car that didn't get a lot of repop type stuff, you know.
Well, it's like, you know, the stuff we deal with every day. It's like it's turn. You know, we can get it go, get it go. You get in that other stuff where it's, you know, the scavenger hunt and all that. It's kind of like that's the pursuit of the chase, you know, whatever.
Well, it's part of the
parts
deal.
Is kind of like the excitement on it, I guess.
And then like that Gas Monkey Garage type stuff where they're trying to search for parts and things like that. Yeah. I don't know. I never watched the show.
I don't watch TV anymore.
It's all you can tell.
But
like we've got the Street Outlaws up there.
Oh yeah.
So like
street
I
racing.
mean, street racing. I mean,
it's pro mods.
What was it? No, every once in a while I'll get a phone call. Like a guy will be like, "Man, I fucking you know, I won this bike on a fucking, you know, football pot, and it's like a '87 Banshee or not Banshee, but like a something from the '80s in metric.
Yeah.
It's
not worth nothing.
He's like, man, I just need to get some new parts for it. I'm like, what? It's like you need to join a group on Facebook.
That
is into these bikes and be friends with the guy that runs it to find. Like you got to go play a game to get these parts, man.
Yeah.
Like it ain't like Harley shit. You know what I mean? Where there's a Harley shop in every county basically. To get parts from, or at least know a guy that gets them. So. I don't know. That's a tough one.
I'm not a fan of it. And I hate having, like, we'll get something in there. And I quit working on, what was it, a year ago? I quit working on metrics and stuff.
You were kind of known for doing the victories.
I did victory. I did a pretty cool victory for a guy down here in Brock.
Yeah, John.
John Moat. Yep. And, you know, so I would do some of those bikes as long as it was something pretty fancy, like what John had done with us.
Custom.
We've done the little stuff on the victories, and man, it was it wasn't for us, you know.
Well, at the time there wasn't a whole lot of people working on them, so people that had the bikes, you know, like you were the kind of guy to go to.
Yeah, you had to go find somebody that would make it, you know, and there's a few guys that made parts for it, which made it a lot easier. But you know, as far as like, you know, versus Harley, you know, you can pick whatever genre you want to go with, however you want to look. Yeah. And that one, you kind of just got to make your own way and make it happen. So,
yeah, it definitely gets tough. And that's one of the things that, like, when these, like with Indian coming back out, trying to inspire shops to create an aftermarket.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people got burned whenever Victory went away. Mm-hmm. So now they're kind of like, they have like a bad taste in their mouth of wanting to invest into designing and creating parts for a brand that might pull it because it didn't do the right numbers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Put 3 wheels on a motorcycle.
Yeah. Good point.
But no, the Vic Bagger guys up in Indiana, you got Eric, and then, you know, some of his people that work with him, you know, Roy and Reba, they've got the Indian, you know, platform that they're doing some stuff for. And I was like, man, you check out this kind of style, you know, and I was trying to, you know, like, look, I think there could be something in here, but they're the same way, you know, they're like, man, is it worth it? You know, do we take that leap? And, you know, you don't know if it's going to happen or not.
I feel like right now Indian's done a better job.
Yeah.
I think. The Challenger's done well.
With the
my
racing
knowledge.
Scene and stuff.
I think the racing's definitely helped, but it feels like, I keep telling people this, but it feels like I saw Indian pumping the bikes before they were released, and then now that they've been released, I haven't felt the same energy.
Yeah, they're kind of quiet.
Yeah, it's like they're kind of quiet, you know, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm expecting though. Like I don't know what kind of pedestal I'm trying to put them on, but I just figured like you would see more. And I mean, they do a really good job of like reposting and trying to show love to the people, you know, customizing their bikes.
Stuff,
like with Insta having Kyle, Barnstorm, and you know their pride and joy, Carrie Hart.
Yeah,
pretty much that dude can do no wrong. Yeah. But yeah,
I kind of the Indian motorcycle kind of opened my eye when I went to I don't want to say it was like 3 years ago or something. I went to a flat track race up there in the Oklahoma City at the Remington Park, and it was just, first, second, third Indian, and they're just whipping Harley's ass. And I was like, damn, they're actually got something now, And then they hit the big bikes, and they went more what's now, versus the old chieftains.
Well,
like
to be kind of fair and to give Indian credit and to give Harley credit, Indian didn't have a legacy they had to continue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They kind of had free reign.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, if Indian would have did what they did the last time they tried to redo their brand and come out with those fucking Art Deco fenders that they had, like Dick Tracy cars, like they would have failed.
Mm-hmm.
They had to completely drop a lot of those more iconic styling parts that made Indian what it is and just reinvent the brand. And Harley hasn't stopped producing bikes for the last 100 years or 120 almost now.
Yeah, they can kind of just veer a little bit.
So they honestly can't veer too much without, pissing off their core customer base while trying to inspire new sales. You know what I mean?
Live wire.
It's a harder,
like
it's a hard place to be. It's like, imagine being a rock band that's got 100 or 20 years of nothing but hits, but you decide you want to do rap now. Because that's what's popular amongst the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a hard thing to swap out to without pissing off your, core audience or your core support, but trying to inspire new people to come check it out. So
I think the Indians they're superior motorcycle to Harley.
Oh yeah.
I still ain't gonna buy one.
Yeah.
But it's a superior bike, so they got a tough road. What do you do in that situation? Because guys like me and him.
Could you imagine being like in the corporate office of Indian,
Yeah.
where they're like, "So our bikes are better."
Yeah.
Yeah. They're cheaper. Yeah. Way cheaper. And why won't people buy them now? Well, there's
Harley.
nobody gets the Indian tattoo, brother. Right? You know what I mean?
What do you do in that situation?
Yeah, it's
a company.
It's like a weird one, for a lot of them to try to figure out. But I think it's the one thing that shows that, like, without like having the cultural support that Harley has, like, that's what keeps them going. You know what I mean? And a lot of people I've watched, in the last couple of weeks, I haven't been doing podcasts. I've been consuming a lot of other content, and a lot of people have been talking about how they feel like Harley hasn't been listening. I feel like they've been listening pretty good in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
We all can agree that when they dropped the Softail, they didn't do a good job marketing and branding that Softail. But since then, they've restructured. They have come about with some badass parts.
Oh yeah.
They've made themselves a contender with a less superior bike on the track.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to give you what you want right out the box either.
Yeah,
and you can't get that.
And then
money.
we wouldn't be in business.
Exactly. So
Got to make the money.
I mean, that's all Harleys are. Nobody wants a stock Harley.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I want people to do what they want. And if they want to buy a stock Harley and leave it stock for 20 years and never ride it, and
That's
then
cool.
I get to buy it for $5,000 or $2,000 later on,
For me,
I'm good.
Nice bike.
I'm happy with that.
Right.
You do you, boo.
Yeah. Find those old.
most of us, should I say, don't want to ride around on a stock Harley. It's got the experience of owning it. It's customizing it and
Well, it's
making it your own.
Yeah, and I think that's been a part of the way things have gone for so long. Where people buy a Harley or a motorcycle has been a lot more about self-expression of the kind of person you are.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the Harley lends itself to do that better than a metric bike does. I mean, I was customizing sport bikes before I got into Harleys, and there was still a good aftermarket though. Like if you had a Gixxer 1000, you can get any fucking thing you needed: rims, brakes. If you want to go fat tires, all that shit, like it was there, So you can kind of get a taste of what it's like to take something and dumb it down performance-wise, but still be better than everything else out there. It's like,
Isn't that funny?
I ran from the cops once on a Gixxer 1000 with LED lights on it. On.
Were they strobing?
With a jack shaft 360
Oh, God.
swing arm in the back and air ride front and rear. And I got away.
Dang.
I'm just saying, like, it didn't fuck up the performance going straight enough to where I couldn't get away from the cops. So, and this was like a long time. You know when you ever rode sport bikes and ran from the cops before?
I didn't run, but yeah.
So
We're too flat up there. You can see us from
well,
miles
yeah.
away.
So that's we're flat here too, pretty much. But for some reason, it just like you go into like 5 stars on Grand Theft Auto mode.
Yeah.
Right.
When you
can
start
see 'em up
running,
here.
and you just assume there's a helicopter up there somewhere, dude. And it's like you don't slow down until you get in your garage, and
Yeah.
you're like you're looking outside, looking up and shit, trying to make sure there's no helicopter following you and stuff like that. And
Blake.
Yeah. We got a buddy. He's got this splatter painted FXR, and he's like, "Y'all want to see something funny?" We're like, "Yeah." He lives in this neighborhood, and it's his front of his house. It's nighttime, you know, and you hear this bike just banging gears. You hear it in the distance. It's getting louder, and then all of a sudden, as soon as the bike hits the frame, it's on at the brakes. Slide. You see him slide past the house, nails the curb, keeps going. A couple minutes later, you see the cop car come flying through there, and there's like an alleyway behind that hops right back on the highway.
Yeah.
He got on the highway and they lost him, but it was funny seeing that bike come slide. I mean, you could hear him just getting it, and then you see it come
on
sliding
an
by.
FXR he ran.
Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, got away. But he's like, I'm not going to get it out for a little while.
Now I got to keep it under wraps for a while.
Yeah. I mean, it was all splatter painted. Like, you
Yeah.
can see this bike.
Yeah, one of like 5 FXRs in Oklahoma City that I'm aware of.
Yeah, there's not very many.
That's great. Y'all have a chase policy, so they'll chase up there.
I
See, we
think
don't
they
have
do.
a
I don't
chase
know when.
policy here, and that's why I don't even know why the hell I'm worried about it.
In Dallas, but
Well, yeah, I was in Denton whenever this happened,
yeah.
and I had like mushrooms on me. That's why I ran.
Let's go.
Oh man, yeah, this is a wild night.
I ran one day coming here to work.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
You had to leave your bike here for like 2 months.
Yeah. And then I painted it red, so
Oh, yeah, you got to change it.
yeah. But I got away though.
Yeah. Oh shit, Creed. Yeah. He he was mobbing through a cemetery, and they had this like nice little kicker on this in the sidewalk. And he was going through and nailing it. He had his headphones in, jamming. And he said a few minutes later, he looks back and there's a cop car in the cemetery, and he's like, "You can't be in here," you know. So he ended up spray painting his bike. All
Did you run from her, or you just like
yeah,
got?
he ran.
Wow.
Red Dyna, nice one. Like OG, he just spray painted it.
Damn.
Like you did. Hit his bike.
He's like, "I can't ride it for a while." Then he's like out the next week with it all spray painted.
Oh man.
It's-
Yeah,
it's
it's
quite
a.
funny.
I guess that's why the black Dynas work so well, or just
Oh,
black
yeah.
bikes in general.
Yeah, definitely.
But they also get stolen more,
Hey, black bikes matter, man.
apparently. Because it's been a question I've talked to a few people about this, like just random bike night debates. Do you think a custom painted bike would get stolen before a solid color bike?
You
would
think
get
it would? Yeah.
Why would they steal a bike that's
Easy to
personalized?
see. Yeah, I know, right?
Because then if you take a bike that has a solid black paint job or a stock paint job, then most people steal bikes. Like we're at our age, the world we live in, people steal bikes to strip them and sell them. They don't steal bikes to go
do
ride them
stuff
to
with
bike
them,
night
yeah.
next week.
No.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So a bike that's completely custom painted, only some idiot would steal that, not knowing that he can't do anything with those tints.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Especially now, everything's on the internet. Like back in the day, were you gonna put it on Auto Trader? Like you're gonna go get a fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody knows everybody. It's a big
Yeah.
community, but it's pretty small, you know, especially with all the people.
We had
in
a
the
dude
middle.
up here got his bike stole, Trey, and his other buddy that actually works with him ended up buying his front fender off a dude that resells parts. Apparently, whoever stole his bike stripped it, took it to this guy, sold him all the used parts, and that guy put them on. And it's just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, you end up with somebody stolen parts. That's not a fun day.
Yeah.
That'd be bad. That's
bullshit.
My bike got, when it went into the impound, you know, or not impound, but whatever, the insurance yard, they stole, you know, like my seats. It's a custom seat done by our friend, you know, at Ashley at Distinct Customs. And it's a gray seat with yellow stitching, and then we did like a pinup girl underneath the bottom where you can see it through the seat pan and all that stuff. And it's like, why would you take that, you know? And
Yeah.
because, I mean, they're probably going to wipe it down with like shoe polish or something and, you know, deface it or whatever. But it's
crazy.
I'm like, damn, dude. Like, why would you do that? So,
Well, this last year, I feel like you know, you had built the Victory for a while, and I know you've built bikes since then. You had done some other ones, like the one you did a while back, the big wheel though that you had brought and did at the. I saw it a couple times at the IMS shows, right? was kind of bare bones.
the red one?
The red one.
Yeah, that one was like Mavericks, Harley Davidson. There was a show that we got invited to. Went to that one. And I've done some stuff in Galveston and all that with it. And yeah, that bike kind of got me on the map, you know, as far as like doing stuff for people.
See that style though, man, like that, because that reminds me a lot of that one Misfit bike. You remember that?
Yeah.
And that style of bike, I mean, trust me, even who I am now, I would fucking probably rip one of those down the street.
Yeah,
it's just kind of like a chopper of the big wheel thing.
Yeah, it's
you know
still
what
a
I'm saying?
motorcycle, you know.
Yeah.
It's not got a big old, you know, dash in your face.
Yeah.
All the
Radio.
radio stuff. Yeah, I'm not a radio
Got
guy.
a stage on it you can dance on.
Yeah, no. But no, that bike was a lot of fun. You know, it would get a lot of attention. You know,
Yeah.
you go anywhere with that thing, and it's like, shit, look at that.
It was a
wheel.
solid color though, wasn't it?
It was all solid color, yeah.
All this hate for solid
Everything
color
was,
and
it was
black, man.
dripping, all red, all
Dripping
one color.
red. No, but you did that, but then, like I said, you kind of came around. You started fucking with your FXR, and you built and had it done for Sturgis, which that thing came out fucking awesome. So
Yeah, Shelby and Brian, that was a 3-year build.
for real,
Yeah,
The twin cam, right?
Twin cam. I bought it. It was King Midas,
I saw that for sale. I actually reached out to. I was thinking about buying that one day.
swiped it up.
and I scooped it up,
Uh-huh.
and we put it together. Kind of T-bars, some 13 spokes, had a rotor front end on it,
Yeah,
and the motor was all new when I bought it from DA, but I guess it sat so long or something. The first time I rode it, it broke a spring on the exhaust valve and just. So after that, I didn't like the mids that was on it. He had the mids attached to the motor, so I was like, and I wanted to put an RT fairing on it, but it was an 82. It didn't have the bungs,
yeah,
so I was like, screw it. We just took it apart and did what I wanted to do to it.
yeah. Because when I sold my FXR, I started looking for one, and that one was for sale.
Yeah.
And it was twin cammed. It had an inverted.
It had inverted front end on it, but it used what he had on there was the stock Gixxer lower tree
Yeah, yeah,
and
Custom
top tree.
yeah.
But what that did is Gixxer forks. When you look at the steering stem on it, it puts the forks behind the stem like a bagger, where an FXR is
On the front.
on the front. So it messed with the trail and wasn't right. So that's when I got hold of it.
The King Midas bike. I mean, Jeremy painted that one Lucky Strike. That was a
The
fucking
paint job was
sick
cool on
ass.
that, yeah.
DA kept
Setup.
the
He did?
the tins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got the
Yeah.
I got the original tank with it
You did? Oh, the original tank, yeah.
and some side covers and a fender. I think the side covers are the ones I sent to you.
For real?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd pass those on to the next
that's what
FXR.
they're for, man.
That's the one thing I love about FXR community. Like, you reached out and you're like, hey, man, what do you need? I got laying parts around. I was like, that's the community I love, man.
Who was the dude that came up on the orange FXR?
FXR4,
Yeah,
Dope Cheese.
FXR4 or
I don't
something
remember
like
his
that.
name.
Our buddy Cal, he's a little bike tinker guy too, and
Yeah.
he's part of the. He had an FXRs and stuff like that, and he hit him up, and he was coming. Where was he going? He was coming from Arizona, going to to New York or something, wasn't he?
I don't remember.
Some FXR jam that he was going
Oh,
to.
yeah. This
And-
year? Last year?
This year.
Yeah, it was in
And,
New York.
He came through, and his his lifter or something was bad, and Cal's like, man, I got an old FXR set in here. We can steal all the stuff out of it, and fixed him up, got him running. I think Donnie put him up for the night, and he got back on it the next day, and he still had lifter noise and all that. So they ended up ordering a new set, and he just hung out for the weekend here. And he's like, I'm gonna miss my jam, so I'm gonna hang out, kick it, and then went back. So it was pretty cool, seeing that kind of stuff happen. So
That's the one thing about the FXR that it's kind of like you're a part of the hog chapter without all the gay hog
Yeah.
chapter stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
It's kind of that way in the performance bagger scene too.
it
right
is,
now,
It is like that right now for sure. Yeah,
and I hope it stays that way.
yeah,
man. I've started off this year very pessimistic, and it's nobody else's fault but mine. I just had a rough couple of days when everything started, but as much as I still love all this performance bagger stuff and am proud as to how big it's gotten and how many people are involved and seeing all the bigger brands embrace it now.
You're right.
It is scary. You know, it is scary thinking like, okay,
you've seen where it's gone before.
yeah, I've seen these trends jump and fall and jump and
Yeah.
fall, and you feel like that guy that's holding up the sign saying this is the end.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You seem like the crazy guy when you're trying to tell people like, hey man, like we get it. Daytona's a good time, but don't get trapped into this thing where you're just trailer into events and you forget why you built this bike this way.
Right.
You know, and I feel like you know, I'm just kind of I'm like I said, I'm a little bit pessimistic about it, and that's why I've kind of like this year I'm kind of changing my focus to more rides that are less, you know, public showing things and more just like I just want to go ride my bike somewhere.
Kind of like a camp out.
Yeah, like the camp out or other smaller events. But fuck, now everybody's doing a camp out. Like,
yeah, yeah.
You know, which I don't mind it, but it's like people online. Told you I have a fragile ego, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, worry about that, man.
Was that he went to your camp out was it last year?
I went to 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna come this year. I won't be on a bike, but
I was on my
I'll be there.
Nobody cares.
gay ass
Yeah.
big wheel motherfucker last year.
You rode the big wheel last year?
That's all I had because my FXR was still in the shop. I had that or my Cholo bike, which I ain't riding that to the camp.
Oh no. Well,
Or
it's
my
rough
Supermoto.
riding.
So on the street glide we came.
Yeah.
And,
I rode
up
that-
on top of the hill by Shelby's KTM, so I didn't
I rode
look
that
Gucci.
that same bike to your hood ride.
Oh, the hood ride?
Yeah. He's making fun of me because it's got like air ride in the center stand. I'm like not airing it out. I'm using the kickstand and stuff. And he's like
Trying to get a gangster lean on it.
He was.
He's like, why
He totally was. It
He's
was
like,
funny,
why aren't
man.
you parking? Why aren't you airing it out? I was like, no, fuck that. I ain't gonna get caught.
I knew
airing
why he
this
wasn't
out.
doing it, but I just wanted to.
Dude, you know, the whole like making fun of this stuff it's fun because like Big Will Cody, a close friend of mine, he still has his Big Wheel. I'm obviously, you look around the shop,
Yeah,
there's
you
Big
can
Wheel
air
photos
it.
of the bikes that
We
we've
still
done.
got 'em. We still work on
Yeah.
them.
But it's almost like if you can't poke fun at the funny things about it, then
Yeah.
like you're taking yourself too seriously.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like that's what's even like the performance bagger, the FXR. That's why I love FXR Mike or Mike Pantazzi now.
Yeah.
He's dumbed it down. Because he makes fun of everything equally. He's an equal opportunity.
Everybody
fuckwither.
gets hate.
that's
You know what I
that should
mean?
be.
And it's fun because if you can't like make jokes at the things that are technically funny, you know what I mean? Like the performance bagger thing has plenty of those things,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
But I don't know. I dig it. I think it's fun. No matter what, I think it's cool when people ride bikes. Period.
Yeah.
If they're a big wheel or not. If someone's smashing that thing across the country, they're as welcome to be on this podcast as anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Or
Well, it
as-
was a 23. Is that a big wheel?
yeah. It is.
Yeah.
What's that, my Road Glide now?
I think Steve's got a 23.
That's
doesn't
that
he?
bike.
Yeah.
We
That's
could-
what we wanted to talk about that one too. Yeah, 23 is a weird one because technically you can just throw trees on that. It looks good on a bike, but you know, I've been seeing this more, and I don't hate it, but I know people aren't going to like it, and I don't think it's the way to go. But a lot of shops have been doing, especially more predominantly big wheel bagger building shops have been doing a performance-esque, but still with like the fat tires
right.
and 23s and things like that. And I dig the bikes when they look, but I guess when they say, hey, this is our new performance bagger, that's from like, don't. It's a nice bike, man. Just leave it at that. You
There
know
needs
what I
to
mean?
be a new name come up for this, I guess.
I don't. There's
Performance
names.
touring, maybe. I don't know. Something.
Fuck these names, man. It's like
Ride your
it's
motorcycle.
like the he, him, she, her thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do that. Like it's just fucking. It's a custom motorcycle. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
But
We
yeah.
just solved it right there. You just solved it, Jason.
Hopefully, or it's a new thing we're gonna talk shit about all year.
Ugh.
I never. Yeah, we had all our issues with that dude from California last year that hated the fact that we didn't give. We weren't. What was it? Something about like Steve Chamberlain, myself, and Proper Baggers were.
Y'all weren't OGs.
We weren't OGs in the performance bagger thing because people with ape hangers have been doing wheelies in Oakland for years.
Oh yeah.
Or some shit like that.
It's easy
Yeah.
to do a wheelie when you're leaning like this the whole time.
I've never heard any of you guys ever claim to be an OG anything.
We didn't claim. It's a tough one
Early
because
adopter, yeah.
Took it and ran with it.
I've always said that we kind of took a style that was that I believe because I started seeing it really heavy up in 2014 in NorCal. Not heavy, but I saw homies rocking T-bars on their baggers. But ultimately, like San Diego Customs is one of the first shops to ever do like a fully custom performance bagger, which was Danny G's original bikes, and who knows how many, like, not saying in a bad way, but like nobody's or
right.
no name
Mainstream
people that had
guys.
some bikes that were out there too. But what we've said is that guys like Steve Chamberlain and Proper Baggers and myself have taken that thing that was created out there, and we've kind of helped it
Spread the gospel.
you just kind of more popularize it across the rest of the country.
Oh, 100%,
So we
yeah.
made it more familiar to people, made it more accessible. Our bikes were, we use social media to help spread that message, and a lot of those other guys were just
Yeah, they
building
wouldn't.
cool bikes. So
Yeah.
maybe they're cooler because they weren't on social media, whatever the case may be. But you know,
I think when you did that, that kind of brought a lot more of the younger generation in,
Yeah.
I mean, because they're all about social media and stuff. And most of my business comes from social media. But,
Yeah.
like, once you did that, it brought all kinds of walks of life, I mean, you'd see people that typically would ride a sport bike, and they're like, no, dude, I want to get into this. This is
yeah, the
a lot more
dynos
fun,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, dirt bike guys,
Well, it's the thing. It's like people, so many different walks of life can afford to put handlebars on their bike.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And so, all you need is 3 sets of those a week, and you're living good, right? So whether you're putting T-bars on or ape hangers, like those, shit pays the bills. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When I hear like certain brands talk about how, well, the Dyna crowd just doesn't have the money, it's like, who the fuck gets rich off building bikes? Nobody.
Right? No, no.
You know, like nobody,
I
like
don't know anybody. It's
nobody ever pays retail value. Like, you build a bike, you got 150 hours in this custom build.
Yeah, so you can't get all that out.
You know, if your shop is $90 or $100 an hour, that's $120,000 if it's $100 an hour.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Simple
I mean, what-
drug dealer math, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
120 hours.
That's the hard part
$100,
about
yeah.
doing the custom work. I mean, you do custom paint, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of that stuff you got way more hours in it than what you can charge for it. You know,
Or when you get in there, you see a
Yeah,
true
you open
safety
up.
concern.
Yeah.
You know,
he'll get a bike in and he put it on his lift, go to town, and he gets his notebook out and he's like, "All right, Ryan, all this is bad," and I'm like, "Oh wow." He's like,
aircraft mechanic hit me.
"All right, we're gonna call the customer now," and be like, "Hey, this,
Yeah.
it." It freaks him out, but I mean, you gotta make
Yeah,
it
but
safe.
you're saving them. I mean, you're helping them out with
Yeah.
you know, everybody wants to add that new part onto their house, but when the rest of the house is falling apart from termites, you got to
Yeah,
fix that first.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, but we don't. When we get something like that, we're gonna take care of them. We're making enough money on the whole deal, so it's
Yeah.
you get it and take it, So
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like it's always worked out well when, like, if you're selling parts and doing labor, sometimes what you don't make in labor you kind of make in selling
Yeah.
parts. So it kind of like the balance
Yeah.
works out still. But I think what started fucking with a lot of shops is when people were buying all their products online, then bringing them to a
yeah.
shop.
Oh man, that's the worst.
And then, and I've always just told shops, I was like, charge what you charge, man. Like,
you can't give too much of a cut.
if it's 3 or 4 hours to do, let's just say it's 6 hours. I have no idea. I haven't done this in a while, but whatever the hourly rate is to put a set of handlebars on a bike,
Yeah.
if you do it in 2 and it's
Still
billed for
pays
6,
flag.
flag it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you get paid to be good at what you do, so I mean, why
Yeah.
would you not?
Yeah, it's a strange one, man. But so what kind of made you want to kind of build the bagger this last year that you had in Sturgis?
So, he built the FXR, and
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to turn me on to it. And I've always been a big wheel guy. I always built the big custom bikes, and he convinced me to come down to the hood ride. And
Mm-hmm.
I got down there, and I felt like the complete, like I showed up to the wrong event. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
It kind of brought that excitement back that I got into
Yeah,
from
bikes,
years ago.
yeah.
Being down there and around it, and I was like, dude, this is where it's going. This is what's up. And I had a big wheel I was building. I literally called a guy right there in the parking lot at Rick's, and I was like, dude, you want to buy it? Like, it's roller, everything's ready to go. Motor, you can have it. I don't care. I had a wrecked CVO I was going to go get, and sold it, and had it sold before I got back to Oklahoma. And we started the plan for the new build, and owning a shop, you can't just.
That's you buddy fucked me on, by the way.
Oh,
Blue
because I
Falcon.
got the fairing. Yeah, that's it.
Blue Falcon.
he's wanting to turn his street glide into a road glide, and he's like, hey, any wrecked road glides or anything like that, we got to be scooping up parts. We got to find them.
Yeah.
Well, I done some motors for some guys, and I knew that he had a road glide fairing because he went full custom on it. And I was like, dude, let me get that fairing. I showed up to the shop, complete OEM fairing, and Donnie's like, are you fucking kidding me?
I looked for one for a year.
For real?
He looked for one for 2 minutes and had one. I was like,
For sakes, I got 2 of them.
Oh yeah, well, let's speak after this.
you got all the guts and everything? 'Cause that's the.
No, get all that on eBay.
Yeah, the eBay guts aren't as
It's
good.
It's not as good as the OEM stuff.
Buy it OEM.
I did.
Yeah, that's expensive. But yeah, I did that one, and I kind of got into the new style, and we did.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 32.
So, in my opinion, like this whole thing, like when I got into big wheels, I was 29, right? Most of the people that built the bikes that were the game,
Big guys,
the
yeah.
players in the game, were 40 to
Yeah.
50, maybe 35 as the youngest, right? So I felt like I was in a rich man's place trying to make my stake or whatever.
When I
the-
first met you at Maverick, with
Yeah.
my first pro show that I went to, I was 25 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I
so
feel
and that
it.
was when you did that in Mavericks, I was probably 33 or 4.
Yeah,
Right around there. That was what 2016 or 15.
16, I think.
16.
Yeah,
And so, what happened? I don't know. I feel like what's taken place is that like every generation has their bike and their style that they can kind of that's going to speak to them and their generation of people, right? I think more so this is your generation than it is mine. I mean, I'm 40 this year.
yeah, and this,
you know what I'm saying?
the performance style.
Yeah. So I feel like I feel like I have a foot in it, but not as much as a dude that's 35 years old right now.
Yeah, you
know what I'm saying?
You get to see more of it.
Yeah, I
whatever.
don't know. I guess the things that like people that are 29 that want to do for fun, like I'm kind of getting to a point where I was like, fuck, I don't want to
That's
do all
not
that.
that fun. Yeah,
Or my liver can't handle it
yeah.
anymore. You know what I mean?
Don't
But
get blackout. No.
at the same time, I feel like what it is like is like this could be yours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you were at the Hood Ride, you saw a generation of people on Harleys that were your age that didn't give a fuck about how much money someone spent
Yeah,
on their
yeah.
bike. That was just out having fun on bikes. And to me, that was inspiring to me whenever I started hanging out with Dyna dudes in NorCal when I was 35 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that shit made me like, I'm sitting here trying to be an equal to dudes that are,
way above your
me and will never give a fuck about me.
Yeah.
Right? Unless I'm painting for them.
Yeah, you're just a benefit for them.
So this, I get to like, I get to hang out with people that I'm on their level and they're on mine. And,
Yeah.
it's kind of like an even playing field of business and having fun. So
Well, I thought
it makes sense.
It's like when this stuff started taking off, it was kind of cool to see it happen because, we've always seen what the older guys, we've always been the younger guys. So we always seen what the older guys were doing. And it was kind of exciting to see people like coming up with stuff because it's not like a platform that had already been done.
So this is the first genre of bikes that has been completely birthed visible on social media. You know what I mean? I mean, you could say Dynas and stuff like that too, but obviously Dynas have been running around for a while. Performance baggers, and people are gonna hate me for this too. The whole trend or the whole genre of bikes being customized this way really started in 14 and 15.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's an Instagram profile, there's Instagram backlogs where you can go see what they were doing there and how it's progressed and it's grown.
Dude, when I got into like customizing bikes, I'd seen some of the performance bikes from then, and I was like, that's not for me. I didn't like it. But like you said before, I heard you say one time, it just took the right paint job on a bike, and it kind of opened your eyes to some of it. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then just seeing the lifestyle of it. And
Well, you guys had Glendyne up there in Oklahoma City, and they were always kind of known. I didn't know those guys very well, but just their style of parts were the wheels and the brakes. It was sick, and it had like a performance vibe, but it was big wheel stuff still. And so like that's kind of been the hard part about this whole genre of bikes is that there's always been nice brakes and big motors.
yeah.
The only thing that's really come into play is suspension. Suspension. That's a hard word right now. that's been a hard one to kind of come into, or that's been the thing that's kind of changed.
Yeah.
Where like Harley finally started making stretch bags, and we all want short bags now.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
flipping it. Yeah,
But-
we got stretch or not stretch bags, but we see stock bags come in, and so these guys are like, "Man, we don't like this," and we're like, "We got some stuff on the
Yeah.
shelf. Like, hey, you want to trade?"
Yeah.
So I mean, it's tricky. It's kind of like like we were talking about before with the old bikes, parts hunting and stuff like that. So like when you're converting your big wheel custom bike back into something that's not.
We're trying to talk Big Will Cody to do it, but he won't. Please talk to him. Talk to him about converting his Big Wheel 30-inch Street Glide into.
I'll tell you what, man.
That Till bike was my red bike.
For real?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah.
Financially, it's kind of the time to do it
Yeah.
Yeah.
because the parts I took off there, I was able to sell.
Yeah.
Not for what you wanted though. I mean, you had to take a little bit of it.
Yeah, but I got
Well, that's what I keep telling him. Is
I
like,
got
man,
enough back to buy
what you wanted.
what I wanted,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm still taking a bath on it, but
Yeah, I mean,
But it's what I want.
Less than half.
So when he did his big wheel, he did the bolt-on neck, and All-Star
so he did
Baggers
it
built
easy.
oh,
that.
Yeah.
dude, it's easy.
Easy. Fucking,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
do that shit
Easy.
tonight. Like,
Bro, Cody,
Right
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
so
you help?
easy.
Yeah.
I got one leg. We can do it.
Is it a street glide or a road glide?
It's a Street Glide.
What year?
It's a 17, I believe. 17 or 18.
Okay.
So we need to get a road glide fairing on it. And
Those are
being a
easy
bolt
ones to
on,
work
that's. I thought his
Yeah.
neck was cut.
No.
Oh, dude,
Those are
yeah.
probably some of my favorite bikes to work on. Is like the 14 and up bikes. I mean, they're
Yeah,
that's
the
like
Rushmore
night and day.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, super easy.
Now the CAN bus kind of throws you for a loop when you start learning that, But
Man, you know what's... How do you see this, man? Like, is it not wild that, like...
one
Like,
wire does
no,
six
no, no.
different things.
Well, that's
I haven't figured out yet.
that's science.
yeah.
It's like Tesla came into our fucking world or
Yeah.
something. But
Do a little dabble.
it's just so weird how our whole industry is based on like bolt-on stuff now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not. I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure out where I'm going with this topic, but I know so many people on so many different spectrums. Like I got guys like Justin at Torch, who builds frames and just
Yeah.
fabricates every fucking thing under the sun, right? For many people, including himself. And then you got guys like, and this is not a jab, but like Instav and Kyle, who is bolting on a lot of things, but then taking these parts and modifying them with machines and things
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
and dialing them in with perfect fits and like it's a different type of fabrication, but it's just different. It's like they're not really the same kind of builder, but they
Yeah.
equally can put together something
Sick,
amazing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And the whole industry is going towards that.
Well, we do a lot of that at my shop. Is
Yeah.
factory stuff. We're like, how can we make this factory part look cool without
Yeah.
spending a bunch of money on it?
Yeah.
Like tanks and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the bags that we did for the bike that I brought to Sturgis. Those were different.
Yeah, it had the louvers in the side kind of
Yeah,
cut
the,
out.
yeah, the louvers in the side, and it had flush hinges and stuff. You didn't see any hinges, and it had little pop tops on them and stuff. And those are like 1994 bags that work better than the easy open bags you buy on a brand new bike. But I think that's exciting, and that kind of brings like our place into
Yeah.
the performance side is doing stuff like we do the tanks and stuff every now and then for some people.
Yeah.
And Joe Blow in their garage, they can bolt all the cool shit on their bike, but most of them aren't going to get out a torch and and weld up a tank and then
Yeah.
expect it to hold gas,
Hold
let
gas.
alone not bleed through the paint. So
You got a bubble on your gas tank. Like, no, wonder what you tried to do.
I've done it. I've been there.
Yeah, that's another one. It's like it's crazy that the place, if you're a welder in performance bikes, your job is to cut knee pockets in the gas tanks. Who's got the wildest knee pocket
Yeah,
game?
it's pretty sick.
Yeah, it came out pretty nice.
Yeah.
We cut his out because we are going to do something different, and I fucked up, and I was like, dude, put that on there. And I'm
Dropper
like,
shit.
flip the sides,
Yeah.
And Donnie come in from smoking, and he's like, yep, that's it. And I'm like, damn, I should have took those out, because I had to make those fit in the factory cutout,
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool, kind of exciting.
That's what's I think that what the industry does to self-correct itself is as you grow your skills and you think that you have it, like you're never like in our industry, in the motorcycle customizing industry, you never get skills and then you're set for life.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like you're set until the scene changes.
Yeah, then you got to scramble and figure out what you got to
like
do next.
how crazy is it if you're like a master fabricator and the genre of bikes that is popular and paying the most money
Goes away.
it has nothing to do with your skill set anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Like what you're good at. I've always said this is like in a kind of an analogy is like that's what airbrushing has been for me. Like the custom paint industry is not about airbrush as much as it used to be. So that's a skill that I don't get to use as much as Silverleaf, right? Everybody wants Silverleaf.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a wizard on the side of their gas tank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And thank God they don't. 'Cause
Yeah.
what's next after
Maybe
the
on their
wizard?
van, that might look kind
That'd be
cool,
fun.
but-
Shit, now I kind of want a wizard.
But it's one of those things that you spend years like developing a skill and trying to perfect it, and then once you do, the industry changes and it's null and void. It's not null and void. Like you can always find a place to sell it, but you're not going to be a part of like the moving force of the industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like
And some people don't care.
It's like Bruce Lee said, you got to be liquid, be water.
Be water.
Yeah. you got to be able to go to what's next. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's what I feel like it's I think it's a challenge for everybody and everybody's skill set to find their place in the changing times,
I
right?
think it's healthy though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to get a fresh look at something, when you're doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
I worked at Tinker as a sheet metal mechanic. It drove me up the wall. I'm drilling the same panels out every day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't stand this. I'm not about this. So, getting in the bike scene, you get a little bit of different, but you're still kind of the same. But then new styles come around, it gets exciting again. So
Yeah.
that right there alone is pretty cool.
At what point do you feel like have you thought about this in your younger career, if you will? When do you feel like you get to a point where I'm not when do you feel like you're leading the industry and not just
Never
following?
No, I mean, just kind of getting to be a part of it just feels cool alone, getting to be up there. Like we were talking about going to Sturgis, we're like, there's no way we're going to compete with some of these bikes that are up here, but to be on the same stage as these guys, and doing what they're doing and like, getting the respect from everybody and that right there, like that's enough. Like, who cares about a trophy? Like that right there getting accepted is the cool part.
That's definitely that's the best part. That's what the FXR community made me feel, because literally Sturgis one year in 2016 it was big wheel bagger, and then 2017 I had my gold FXR, and the sitting at the FXR show and the way the crowd responded to my bike, versus
Best, isn't it?
it was like, man, it was so much more of an appreciation for my bike instead of a competition because my bike's there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like dudes were like, dude,
Like
I
you're too
followed
cool
this
for
bike.
them.
I saw because right before we went to Sturgis, we did our trip to California. Like, dude, we followed this bike going to Born Free. It's so sick. I'm glad to see it in person. I'm like, dude, this was like so different than the scene I came from.
Yeah.
Where dudes were walking around with ballots going, hey, vote for my bike, I'll vote for yours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It sucks. I hate that. Like when he started coming around and doing like his new bike that we're doing, he's posting stuff about it as we're going. And, typically from what I'm from, you don't post shit until you're done,
Yeah, we don't live in that world anymore.
Yeah, and it's so much nicer, but it's kind of at the same time you got to retrain yourself and be like, no, like people want to see what you're doing. Like, but you don't want to give out too many secrets, but
Yeah, there's no secrets.
not anymore. No,
not
at all.
like there's probably things that you might do that are, but with the internet right now, everything that someone does is going to be public knowledge.
Oh yeah,
As soon as it's out there. You know what I mean? You know how many people, like myself included, at Mama Tried, were taking pictures of every aspect of Harley's race bikes because they were on display there? We're fucking taking pictures. I'm taking pictures of the primary, how like
the radiator in the front,
everything they
whatever you
did
call
to
it.
set those bikes up that way. I'm taking pictures of it just so that I can kind of study it and like, okay, this is what they did to make this work. You know what I mean? So whatever somebody does, the hope is that you put enough of it out there on social media first that people can go to bat for you. It's like, no,
yeah, they were doing it first.
these guys did it first.
Yeah, because I mean, you can do something and literally you can talk about it, sitting at the table, like, what are we gonna do next? Or let's, this is an idea that we want to do. Cool, yeah. All right, we're going home for the weekend. We'll come back Monday morning. Somebody's posted on Instagram. It's like they were sitting right there with you.
Yeah.
So they already know what you were doing. You're like, dude,
Yeah.
you just got to do it. Shut up and do it.
Siri and Alexa are listening, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Big Brother's got our phones,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Siri, Alexa's out there helping someone else figure out their next fucking custom mod on their bike.
I need that hack.
We heard this from OKC.
All I know is if I'm talking to you about golf clubs, and I don't golf, I don't give a fuck.
Your phone's
about
going to show
golf.
you golf clubs. Yeah.
In a couple of days, there's going to be golf clubs on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's the world we live in.
I know.
You know.
How to sell shit without having to do it.
Have y'all do a lot of like PayPal transactions, things like that?
Yes, the new stuff's, that's not cool.
I don't think it really applies to, like, do you have a business PayPal?
No, that's a personal one.
Well, I feel like because everything I do in PayPal, I transfer to my business account anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to apply to me much. But if you like try to do it as a,
Yeah, it'll
apparently our great and powerful leader has decided that everything over $600 or $600 or above, or up to $600, meaning that if I PayPal you every week, that I have to basically 1099 him on that $600.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
Well, it's like this too. Like, I mean, think about it. You go buy a helmet, and it's over $600. You know, cool, you bought it. I need to sell this helmet now. I'm gonna sell it to Bob for $600. You paying on that again? You know, like what?
Hey, we need that sticker that says, "I did that."
Yeah,
Somehow on our fucking PayPal transactions.
yeah,
Dude, well, so with all the supply chain issues that everybody had last year, now it's starting to trickle into the paint scene.
oh yeah,
I'm having stupid price increases on a handful of things that I use daily, and there's a couple things I can't even get right now that are crucial elements of what I need in the paint process for the brand of paint that I use. And you know, we've I stopped taking in helmet orders like 4 months ago, trying to catch up and like get even with all my helmet orders, because now I have to do a price increase on all those because of the everything else. Hell, even Simpson had to raise some of their prices on some of their helmets.
damn, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the next couple of years, and that's being that like there is no more issues from here going forward, supply chain issues, but we're going to be seeing price increases on so many things across the board that people aren't going to realize that like a $10,000 bagger paint job was a lot of money in 2019. Now that's the going rate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just getting to that point where it's like, it's scary because paint is a luxury on a motorcycle. It's not a necessity, right?
Yeah, a motorcycle.
And I mean,
Motorcycle luxury, yeah.
yeah, and you guys are prime examples with your solid colors.
yeah,
But you know what I mean? You get to a point where it's like, you know, it's going to be it's just going to be one of those things. It's kind of a scary business to keep investing in if that
You
makes
got the
sense.
helmet, though.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of people liked your helmet, man. The checker flag thing, or the checkers in general, was it's a nice touch.
Man,
I would have never just like thought of doing
I
that.
pulled that thing out of the box. A tear came out of my eye. I was like, man, he nailed it.
If the tear didn't hit the helmet, then you didn't christen.
yeah. No, he hands it to me and he's like, "Here, put this new visor in." So I'm sitting in my wheelchair and I got the helmet. And I'm like, not trying to scratch. The fucking
I'm at that age where I can't see anymore.
Yeah.
Like
So-
yesterday, I was like, what? I feel like Fred Sanford, man. I'm always looking for some damn glasses now.
We need a new reference.
Too old.
That's how old I am.
He does that.
I
at
got the
shop.
Fred Sanford, but you know,
We're like,
there's a lot of 20 to early 30-year-olds right now.
Well, wait
You know who
20
that is?
years.
You know who Fred Sanford is?
Not him.
See? Oh man.
Who let the old man smoke weed?
Right?
man?
No, so he
Wait.
hands it to me and he's got me putting this visor in it. And I'm like trying to be careful. I'm not going to scratch anything, you know, like I don't
Yeah.
want to be paying for this. This is expensive. Get it in there and I'm like, cool. And I had tape or something on my jeans. And it, like the goo from it got on the black. As I handed it back to him, so I thought it was fine. I went away and I come back and he's cussed me and he's got a rag out and he's trying to clean it off. He thought I scratched it and I thought I scratched it. I thought I was the biggest
you'd
dick
be
in the
fine.
world.
No, it'd be fine. I've had the worst luck with helmets lately. I painted one the completely wrong size. Like,
sucks.
and so all Simpson helmets are 2 sizes. So medium and large, extra large, XXL, and then extra small and small. So there's 3 helmet sizes for a Ghost Bandit. Well, somehow the labeling it got fucked up. I painted a large, and the dude's an extra large. So it's not the helmet size where I can change the pads.
Damn.
So now this dude has a fucking $2,500 helmet sitting on his mantle that doesn't fit his head, and I'm redoing one out of, essentially my pocket. And then the last helmet I painted, or the second to the last one, it got crushed in shipping.
Oh,
I've shipped almost 200 something helmets. I've never had one get damaged in shipping.
Damn.
Not once. And the fucking just fucked it up.
I ship motors all over, and it's sketchy. Some of the stuff you get in, you're like, I don't know how it made it here, but
I always feel like that scene from Ace Ventura when he's kicking the box.
dude, yeah, no
into
kidding.
the. I gotta pee real quick.
Throwing that shit. Oh, yeah.
So what's new with you, Sax?
Not a damn thing. Just trying to. I really, obviously, looking at getting another bike. Oh no, I can't hit that again. That's why I've been so quiet. I can't talk when I'm high. Obviously, looking at getting another bike. Probably a skinny tire bagger at some point. But I also drive a piece of shit Grand Marquis right now that at some point it's going to fall into pieces as I'm driving. So
Your roads aren't too bad up here, or down here. So you got that going for you.
yeah, I live in Dallas, so
Oh, is it pretty bad?
where I'm at, yeah,
Damn.
So it's like driving in Oklahoma.
basically. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully soon I can I'm hoping by spring I'll have another bike.
Yeah. Going like 08. What year?
Probably.
That's probably my favorite for skinny tire.
The 103s are still going for like 15 grand or some shit.
Oh, like the 09 and up.
Yeah.
Or 10, I guess, was when they came out with
Yeah.
the cop one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll probably be around 08. Maybe like 06
Yeah.
to 08.
I know where one's at, but you'd have to do some framework and change it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'd probably just have to let you do that.
Yeah. You buy it, just get a new frame. It was like chopped up for a big wheel and everything. And it's not. It's
No.
not cool. It's kind of cool to look at because you're like, what the fuck is that? But that's about it. The motor power plant's great.
So, in your transformation from big wheel back to a performance bagger, you had to recut the neck?
No, mine was a bolt-on. Or
Was it bolt-on?
Trees. These was trees, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's super simple. And we've done so many big wheel bikes. We've got piles of stock shit,
Yeah.
So it was really, without him wanting to do some of the stuff that he'd done, we could have really just took his bike apart in one weekend and put it back together.
Yeah.
He'd been riding. But
Yeah,
being
Cody.
him, he's got to go a little above and beyond. So
Well, it's coming out nice, man.
Yeah, it's
the
nice,
build is the wheels like I guess you put newer style wheels on there.
yeah,
The Prodigies.
yeah.
Prodigies.
That I had a
You had painted or powder coated?
Powder
Powder-coated.
coated, yeah.
Two-toted.
Our buddy Kendall at OKC Powder Works, man, he killed those wheels.
Yeah.
And that's all. He wipes all that, dude. That's all done by hand. So it's not like a tape line or anything. So, which I wouldn't want to tape that shit off either. But
It's easier to wipe it off than tape it.
yeah, and it's better too on powder because you ain't got a hard line or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, those wheels are pretty badass. So
I liked them. The front wheel we came in from trade-in or something from a customer.
yeah, trade labor for
Yeah.
it or something. Yeah.
And I searched high and low for a rear Prodigy. Those are kind of hard to come by.
Like, it's the cross ones like mine, right?
Yeah, same wheels as you got.
Yeah.
Smokey and the Bandit style wheel.
Yeah,
whatever you
yeah.
call it.
So I had to go to eBay and bite the bullet on that one because I couldn't find one.
Yeah, I got a homie that's gonna buy mine if all this wheel shit comes down
Yeah.
with the wheels I need for mine. But if not, I'm just keeping those because they look good enough. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
They're stock wheels, but I think they're
See, that's what I'm saying.
Hard,
Like Harley,
they're coming around.
They're doing a lot better. Yeah.
like my first brand new Harley was a 2012 Road Glide Custom, right?
Right.
And those wheels were the ugliest fucking wheels ever. They look like they belonged on those Indian fenders that we talked about from the 40s.
Yeah.
You know?
But man, when they start 18 with 18 it was 18-inch rear wheel. Was that 2018 or 17?
Yeah, 18-inch rear wheel was 18 with the black. I don't remember what those ones were
Like the
called.
turbines,
The
or-
turbines,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
Turbines, yeah.
And then in 20, I think they went 18-inch rear wheel on all.
Yeah,
all
like
the
you can
wheels.
get an Enforcer 18 in the
And then
back.
Enforcer wheel was a
It was a
15.
good, yeah, that's
a good looking wheel.
14,
Or
I think. Yeah, that was a cool wheel for it. And you know, some of the older bikes they were all using the new wheels off those bikes, which was cool. You know,
They look way better.
yeah. But now they've got the 18 rear, and you know, I was kind of burnt out on the Enforcer because it's like you see it all the
Yeah.
time. But seeing with the 18, you're like, yeah, powder coated, it looks pretty
Looks-
cool. You know,
looks
it's
good,
better than the what they were
For
so,
sure.
But
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like some of these big wheel baggers out there, they do have performance parts on it in some areas.
Yeah.
Good built motors. Like buy that shit and sell that fucking that stretch stuff out.
Yeah.
Sell it.
That's-
There's always somebody for the next 10 years. There's always going to be some dude that's been saving up trying to get that.
and it's the right price now.
And it's the right price now. And they can
Get
get
it.
it. And you can't tell him shit at his local long shots as
Yeah.
he goes out to the bar to fucking flex.
Yeah.
Like finally got his Black Death
I
kit.
did it. I don't even know if they make that anymore. Do they?
I don't know.
I just looked at it. You know, I already had the bagger. I bought it in 17. It's a 2016 Street Glide Standard. I'd had it since it was new. We did some motor work on it, and I was like, I really wanted the Road Glide.
Yeah.
But I was like, by the time I go buy the Road Glide,
Oh yeah.
pay the tag title and tax on it, that would turn my Street Glide into a Road Glide.
With some cool shit.
Yeah.
Now, if I sell all this other stuff, then I can get, Chamberlain side covers and whatever.
Well, I think that's what makes it cool is that you can take something, like that and just kind of turn it like
Yeah.
you don't need to have all this like expensive parts on these bikes to fit the bill, if you will.
No.
You can put some bars on it, some suspension,
Some rotors.
suspension, rotors.
That's all that one I had. That's
all
bars
you
and
need.
suspension.
That's all you need.
Make some shit look like it fits.
Yeah. You painted all the shit yellow on there.
yeah. Paint that. No. Oh, I didn't
The
expect
bike
paint
looked
shit.
good, man. Like I saw it in Sturgis when you brought it out. And it was cool to see you there on that bike, like
Something
kind of
completely, yeah.
putting your touch into this side of the industry. But it just sucks that, how did you hit somebody or somebody hit you? How
That's why I merged on the highway and clipped me.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. I still hadn't seen the car that hit me, but yeah, that bike was 3 weeks old.
Wow.
I think you were supposed to shoot it for that magazine.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, because he was like, just get up with Jace, we'll get it taken care of, all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, he's got 1,000,001 people up his ass in Sturgis, I was like, I ain't about to be that guy. We're right up the road from you. So I was like,
Yeah.
we'll just take care of it when we get back. And literally that weekend, I
Yeah, it sucks.
smoked it. I bought it back.
So I think
but-
I hit you up in October about having you guys come on the podcast,
Yeah.
and you're like, we don't know if you can get up the stairs.
Right. Yeah. That was tricky getting up there. I think Zach's got a
Still
video
now.
of it.
He's still in a wheelchair. I mean, at the
Yeah,
shop,
I
I
work
gotta
in a
keep
wheelchair at the
wheelchair
shop.
accessible. He's like,
You do like Matt Hodge gets you one of those little roll arounds with the joystick.
I wish. That'd be so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crutching around and wheelchair and all that shit. That sucks. That's the worst.
That's the one thing that performance baggers will bring you is more wrecks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all my, just gotta watch your feet, man. Like that's the thing that everybody gets fucked up on, and it sucks because every time we would go somewhere, these old timers are always like, you need to wear some boots when you ride bikes. You're gonna, lose your foot.
yeah,
And
as
we're
we're
like,
jamming with a bandana on.
fuck off, dude. He has no band. Yeah.
Dude,
That motherfucker goes down and fucking rolls it out, and then we go down and we fuck up our feet. You know what I'm saying?
I'm wearing high tops next time, though. I've ground that ball off my ankle and that shit
Well,
hurt.
yeah. Our little group of friends, I think everybody up there except for, well, not everybody. Our group of dudes that we did the bike night with, almost everybody's wrecked, and some of them have wrecked 3 times since we started hanging out.
2 times.
Never
Two?
wrecked early.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that. Mm.
That's dragging. That's the 3-timer.
I think he's like broken leg brothers with me. I think we kind of went down about
Yeah,
the same time.
we have a scooter that has gone through 4 people in
Oh,
our
nice.
group.
So you got like a handicap, like
So it was you, Kyle, Jaden, Trent, but we had one more. Wasn't Cano in a foot boot for a while? or was he an
I think
arm
he
cast?
was. I don't know if he had a scooter though.
Yeah, we've had a lot of dudes. We have like this little like knee scooter that that's just been going around. Like, you know, it's kind of like a community where we all just like
Potluck, kind of just throw what
someone
you got
has a
in there.
baby, so they transfer all the stroller and the crib over to this other guy.
Anybody got a scooter?
Those kind of friends you want, though.
Yeah,
got-
all my stuff's hand me down. I ain't proud of it. Like, I'll use some used shit. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, who wants to go buy crutches though?
Dude, I had to buy crutches the other day. I blew the bottom out and about ate shit in Walmart.
You can put some tennis
some
balls
tennis
on.
balls
That's even worse. Yeah. Crutches are.
Why didn't you get in a scooter at the Walmart?
I did, but the battery died.
Damn, it's one your day to be at Walmart.
Yeah. It's all them fat people up there that don't need them.
Yeah.
I used to just kind of make fun of them. Now I'm going to go like yell at them, like, get your fat ass up. Let me use that.
You're the guy that pulls up to the handicap spot. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. We got a barber shop next door now, and this car pulled in real quick, got out, runs in the barber shop, and I'm back there. I'm like, I honk my horn. I'm pointing at it. I'm like, no, move.
Wow.
Because my shop, I would have to park in the back, crutch through the gravel around the back side of the building, you know, into the front, and that's just not easy. So
Yeah.
I was like,
That shit would suck.
move your shit. This is my spot. I earned that.
Like that fucking video. Dude's in a handicap stall taking a shit, and he's got like
Yeah,
a
someone come out.
line of fucking wheelchairs. He's like sweating bullets right now. Just wait till he fucking gets up and walks.
That's like the one thing you
out.
worry about. Like when you walk into the bathroom and you see the handicap stall open, you're like, fuck yeah. But you just like, somebody walks in, you hope they don't come in.
You got his wheels
Grab
up
that
there.
door. You're like, fuck. You see the wheels underneath? Like, God damn it. So you like try to walk with a limp out, like, yeah, me too, brother.
Got it numb.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it's definitely a different lifestyle doing it like that, crutching around and shit.
Yeah, that's man. That's like the scary thing though. Like, how was it like with you? Like, just continuing things going. You know what I mean? I know that Donnie helped out a lot with the shop.
tons, yeah. I mean, my family had to come up and like get the shop all squared away. When I built my front counter, I was like not thinking I'd ever be in a wheelchair, so I'm like, I had to move everything so I could get through the front, you know, and shit like that. And then like my fab table, I had to lower it real low. And like I got a buddy that comes up and, you know, helps me do shit. And he's like, this is awkward as fuck, you know, trying to sit down. I was like, it's perfect for me.
Yeah.
But, you know, with Donnie up there, you know, it's nice because, you know, he has to move all the bikes and everything. So
All
it's
the
kind of
bitch
hard.
work.
Shop bitch.
Yeah.
But I love it, man.
You little
I had
more-
responsibility for
You
30
could be a
years.
greeter at Walmart.
Man, for 30 years I had a job I hated.
Yeah.
You know, imagine going to work every day at Dave's Paint and Body and Collision for 30 years.
Yeah. Couldn't
That
do
was
it.
my job. So now I got a job where I don't have any problem. All I have to work on the motorcycles and sweep. Whatever, man. I'm happy. And nobody's bitching at me.
Yeah.
I love it.
he don't talk to the customers at all. I posted a meme the other day, and it's got this guy smoking a cigarette. And this guy's bossing out and telling him to get all this shit that he needs and everything. Dude just slaps the shit out of him, dings the bell, and he's like, "Next." I was like,
I
"That's."
talk to customers, man. Hi, how you doing? But I don't get
I
involved
was
in
like, "That's Donnie," because they'll come up to the shop and they're
parts
like,
ordering and
asking them, "Oh, you know, how to name questions and shit." And,
I remember me and my daughter were in NorCal. We stopped by John Jessup's place to say hi, just, you know, while we were up there. And he had 3 customers come in while we were sitting there. And, you know, he had to take care of them while we were there. And the shit he had to deal with, I was having like,
anxiety attacks.
you're like, I gotta step
tell
outside.
that motherfucker to leave, man. Like,
Every day happens to me. It's customer.
and I
service.
guess like people, they listen to especially my podcast and they hear us kind of bitch about customers.
Yeah.
Even though we live by them, we need
Yeah,
customers.
yeah.
So
Bad customers.
they
I mean.
don't understand the shit that comes out of certain people's mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the audacity of some
Yeah.
people to what they ask for, what they expect, what they try to get. Like everybody's, it's almost like when you run a shop and you're open to the public, everybody that walks in that door is trying to fuck you.
Yeah.
And they don't
100%.
quit calling you at 5:30 when you close.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
your phone don't stop.
You know, they have like some of them have no respect for you.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sure you. I mean, you do.
You already
it
know.
all.
I mean, I'm super fortunate now that the last couple of years I haven't had to deal with that type of stuff. But before, whenever I was relying on a local bike scene to pay the
Sustain.
bills,
Yeah. You had to.
I had to
those.
deal with shit that I never, you know, like I dealt with it because, you know, it was my responsibility, but it was always one of those weird things where like you'd be sitting there, you know, going to dinner with your wife and some customer would text you and be like, say some just off the wall shit where now, you know, you're in a different mindset with your family. You know what I mean? And it was just, you know, it's
Not
weird
fair
shit.
to them, not fair to you. Nothing.
I had a dude once. This was back when Misfit was still around, and this was actually turned into a huge deal. And people don't understand, like, deposits are promises for me. So if you give me a deposit for a paint job, you're promising to drop that paint job off on the time we declared, right? I didn't make a promise as to when it will be done. You made a promise as to when you're dropping it off. That's what we agreed on. That's the conversation. Well, one guy gave me a deposit and gave me one part because that's all the part.
Your start date.
A big wheel bagger is getting built by Misfit. He had one part. The rest were coming in the mail because they were all these new parts that Misfit came, right? 6 months later, still no parts. And the whole time I'm conversing, hey, we're good, man. Yeah, I'll move your drop off date. I'm being accommodating to him.
Yeah.
Then he decides, because he's pissed off at that company, to pull the whole job from them and me and send it to somewhere in Phoenix. This is like 2016.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, man, I need that deposit back. And I'm like, yeah, they don't work that way.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, you didn't do anything. I was like, you never gave me anything to do.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's the point. I need my money back. I was like, I set time for you on multiple occasions and it was accommodating because after you missed your first appointment, I could have been like, hey, man, that deposit's now gone.
Yeah, you fucking with the deal probably had more time in it than what the deposit was even worth.
To the point where, of course, this dude's a gangster because he had braids or some shit. I don't know how it works these days. And he just came to my shop one day like telling me he's going to get that money. And it's like, dude, fucking I'm right here. Take it. He never did. Yeah. And then I had a 2-week stint where I worked at Misfit where I thought I wanted a different life to get a paycheck and not work for myself. Didn't last long. And he was up there because they had worked a deal out to finish his bike. But he went with another painter because he hated me now. Yeah. Right? I never did. I was never the guy that was wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all your fault now, though.
So he tried to corner me in the shop with another dude.
Looking tough, and I fucking, you know, I probably would have got my ass whooped. There's two black guys. I can't fight like black people can. Yeah. And so, you know what I mean? Like, I was ready to fucking box with these dudes, and they still wouldn't do shit. Kick my ass, but you're going to know it.
I'm going to bite you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just like, that's the type of shit that I used to deal with is like dudes literally have so little respect for you that they'll fucking try to fight you over $500. Yeah. $500. Like, you're spending 50 grand, 60 grand building a bagger with this brand over here, this shop, and you're up my ass about $500. Mm-hmm. Fuck out of here, dude. Let's fight. I'll fight you over $500. Hell yeah.
I'm mad now.
It's a principle now. It's principles. Principalities.
Principalities of all smoky.
Ugh. Yeah, I when social media, what social media did for my brand was allowed my customer base to know me a little bit better and for me to know them a little bit better. So now we can kind of, we can vet each other. If I'm the right kind of guy for their work and if they're the right kind of customer for me. Yeah. And that's allowed me to have a better customer clientele and allowed me to be, I can manage the expectations of the type of customers that I pick as opposed to before, you know, I had to just take whatever kind of customer it was. You know what I'm saying? And that's what sucks about only fucking with local people is, you know, those local people are going to ask you how much and then every other bike shop in town before they make a decision. Yep. Which I can't blame them, but
no, I mean,
you know,
you're not going to go like you can go get this at Walmart for this versus going here. It's, I mean,
all the shops around we all know each other and roll for
yeah. And so when it's like that though, it's like, when it's like that, it's a lot easier to not have people kind of trying to pit you against her.
Yeah, we send work each other. Yeah, shop all the time. They send us work. I mean, there's plenty of work for everybody.
If you go to Walmart and you're like, oh, I want this fucking LG TV, and then you look at it on Target, it's cheaper. The choice is yours. You can just go buy the TV at Target,
what's your time worth of it? Yeah.
Or you can go to that employee at Walmart and go, hey man, Target's cheaper.
Right. Yeah, you want to put the work in, or you just want to get in your car
and the guy at fucking, you know, Walmart's not going to call Target, is this shit cheaper?
Right.
Really? You gonna do that to it? Like, you're gonna pit two, like,
Yeah.
I've seen more customers get known by being guys that would
Shop
pitch
hop.
shops together,
Yeah.
like make them want to fight each other. To where, yeah, shop hop. Like, I got money to spend, I'm gonna go spend at this shop, and then they kind of like wear out their welcome, or things
Yeah.
don't vibe right, and they jump to
Next
another
one,
shop,
yeah.
and next thing you know, those two shops are beefing because they used to have the same customer or some shit like that.
Yeah.
We don't have any of that in the performance bagger scene right now, and that's one of those things I talk about. Like, we don't have that.
Well, I want to support each other. I was like, my
You know?
machinist been trying to get something from me.
Yeah, he don't have anything.
I know.
I got a fucking keychain downstairs you can have.
Oh shit! I seen it on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
It's not there no more.
Made that little horn delete deal. I'm like, fuck yeah. Oh, I saw her M8.
I told him, I was like, dude, the twin cam's gonna be funky. It's gonna be all twisted.
Yeah.
Fold it up.
I tried to buy something from him, but
Yeah.
you got a kickstand blocks or something like this.
He's like, I don't know, man. I've been really hard on Justin, but he's
He's a rag guy.
one of the
I love that
best.
guy. Everybody I've met at school is. I haven't met
And
one.
it's really cool right now. And honestly, I
It's fun
hope,
right now.
you know, if anybody actually goes and listens to these podcasts from the early days when they probably weren't that great, you would see a lot of things taking place now in our industry that I'm not going to say I predicted, but I talked about this is probably the trend that's going to go. More brands are going to get involved. You're going to see performance baggers become a bigger part of the industry and things like that. I feel like right now, as long as all the shops, all the big names, you know, stay cool,
Yeah.
then and we don't allow customers to kind of pit us against each other, then we're all going to be good.
Yeah.
That's the only place that it gets weird, because customers are technically what we need to survive.
Yeah.
True.
And then, you know, when you get to a point where you start having to defend yourself, you know, because there's not a whole lot of performance baggers out there on the street that now you bought this bagger that so-and-so built, and now you took it to his shop and he's finding all these
Yeah,
problems.
fixing junk, yeah.
And then he's telling you, and then you're going on the forum saying, fucking so-and-so doesn't know how to wire a bike. Look at this rat's nest, blah, blah, blah. And then now there's drama between you, which all you did was point out the flaw to
Yeah.
the customer.
To help
That
them.
customer took that knowledge and put it on a public forum, and now you have beef with this shop across
Yeah.
the country.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
what
a-
we have is, don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, I'm being the
You're
other
good,
guy.
You're good.
What we have right now is you are friends with that guy, so you can actually go, hey man, what's up with this?
Yeah. Do we need to fix this or what?
You can talk to the shop because you are a better relationship
Yeah.
with the shop than the customer you have. Say, hey man, what's this going on? And he can go, honestly, man, it didn't look like that when I left my shop.
Yeah. So they've been in there. messing
They
with it,
fucked
yeah.
with it, trying to put a stereo or do some LEDs or some
Yeah.
gay ass shit like that
Right.
on their bike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Synced it.
Seen it all the time. Hell, I've had a customer that, you know, hit a couple shops trying to get a tour pack painted, and it was a green bike he painted. And I had messaged you, and
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
hey, dude, like, what's the paint scheme for this? Or, you
Yeah.
know, what's the paint layers? And you told me, and I gave it to my painter, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Went to the next shop, tried to do some shit for him. The paint didn't match. I'm like,
It's conversations, man.
yeah,
like,
you just
you know,
gotta
like, I don't
know
want to
who
paint
did-
it. So
Did what, you know? So, yeah, you don't want to paint a tour pack lid. And it was just straight one color.
yeah,
too.
it's like you know, I'd have to go buy the paint. Like, it's not worth it. It's like, hey, dude, just get it done. Get
Yeah.
it taken care
Yeah,
of.
I've learned that a lot since being hurt. You know, I can't do everything that I used to be able to do. And it's actually kind of been a blessing, you know, to kind of understand that, like, don't chase jobs, you know, and pick and choose what you want to work on. And, you know, sometimes it's easier to just be like, dude, look, here's the link, order it from here. There's your deal.
Yeah,
Get it.
especially if you can kind of get a vibe off customers and the
Yeah.
type of how needy they are. And sometimes it is like, hey man, this is a place you can just go buy it here.
Yeah.
You know, like when I sell a helmet to somebody, I don't want to sell it to helmet somebody unsure that they're gonna have to send it back, and I'm gonna have to deal with the shipping back and forth
Yeah.
to get the right size for this guy. It's like, hey, man, just order it. Here's the Simpson link. It's not worth the $100 I might make off this sell.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, fuck it.
Not all money's good money.
It's like, if I don't fucking want to do this email, it's not worth $100. One day I'll be broke. I'm gonna be. I was almost somebody famous. I'm gonna be in LA and fucking a homeless guy there. High on
taking a
fentanyl.
shit on the sidewalk somewhere.
Is that Fast Life Jace? I'm like, no photos.
Pants down. It's like those dog calendars of shit.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I don't know, man. It's, but no, I'm stoked that you guys have kind of, I wanted to have you on for a while because, like I said, you've, as this performance air quotes thing has kind of moved its way across the country. I think people in Oklahoma City or just Oklahoma in general, they need to find a hub. Like Rebels Den was a hub for the people in Little Rock that are into this style of bike. Not meaning that everybody that's going to come in your door is going to be your customer, but at least you can kind of be that connection to this scene for those people, right? They might not be able to afford all your services and things like that, but at least they can feel like they're hanging out with the cool guys. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to have you guys on to hopefully help find people in Oklahoma City or in Oklahoma in general.
Oklahoma needed somebody. I mean, if it wasn't for, I've got some select friends that have shops around town, and, they came together and did a benefit for me. But right there opened my eyes and theirs to, like, this whole time we were like, there's nothing going on in Oklahoma. There's nothing really happening. And finally we're like, you know what? We're going to have to be the people to step up and do it because nobody else is going to do it. And not to like hate on nobody, but like I don't want to go to anybody else's stuff. Well,
that's what I was saying earlier about like at what point do you feel like now it's your industry that you need to carry it?
Yeah.
And that that the whole responsibility of like a scene, it does suck that now you don't just get to be a bike shop. You got to be an ambassador for a scene to a region.
Well, it's like being like when you're like starting off and you're always like competing, you're like trying to win all these shows and stuff, and then you realize that like that's no longer an option. Like we need to be the people, like you're saying, for people to go to, and it's kind of a little bit to swallow to be like, man, I don't get to compete no more, but it's something better in return. When you're starting to see it, the bigger picture.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely did a lot more of the show circuit than I personally did. I definitely have had a lot of my work in there from customers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But as like me standing there waiting to hopefully win trophy or not.
Yeah.
I haven't done a lot of that stuff. It's anxiety to me.
Yeah, it's a lot. What I mean? Yeah. Well, I started that second business and
with Tom Jessup, we'll get rid of your anxiety.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna smoke weed with Tom. No, like
at Little
Tom
Evil.
Jessup
At the Little Evil show.
We didn't stand out by the bikes once. We were sitting stuck at the table high the whole time. But
thought I had something.
No, it's
But Tom,
like the second.
So the Cali weed, bro.
It's good shit. Yeah.
That NorCali weed.
Yeah.
NorCal.
But no, like starting like the second company that I started, it's nice to actually do something that everybody is using.
Yeah, yeah.
And that right there, that in return on the money side is very nice. It's a lot better.
So the Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? Like we've always had the diamond cut heads, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And your style was a much more aggressive,
yeah.
But swag.
Yeah.
I've seen we did a lot of that stuff with Rick Fairless back in the day.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I had a friend come in and we were building this bike and he was big into guns and we were talking about, I don't even know how it came up, but we were like, yeah, let's cut the motor up. And everybody that heard the conversation, they're like, why y'all going to cut the motor up? They're like, I don't know, let's try something. So we did it. And, we had a couple people call us. And at the time, it took us 10 hours to do one motor, and it was intense to do it. And since then, we've gotten a lot faster at it. But it started out as just something we wanted to do for one bike. And it took off. And I was like, this right here is some serious shit. So put a little money into it and start pushing on it, and it's starting to return pretty good now. So yeah,
I've seen a lot more people doing it. I think didn't Covington have one done recently?
Yeah, I did one for David, and that's pretty cool. You mentioned that. David sent me one. It was a Fuel Moto set of jugs and a set of heads I think they'd milled for him. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I did that for David, it's like the floodgates opened up.
Yeah.
They posted it. It got shared out. I started getting tons more followers. Fuel Moto put it on their page and sent that out, and it's just been a lot, which is nice. Yeah. Being hurt, that's all I can do is sit in the chair and do shit. So yeah, so doing it, but we ended up getting one for Paul Yaffe. We did one for Paul, and then we're supposed to do his FXR for that FXR that he's building. Yeah. Revolution Performance is supposed to be sending us the jugs, and we're gonna do them up for him and send them back to them and do this.
That's cool.
Yeah. So,
Why'd you decide to do a different company though with that?
So Aaron Glendine, Oklahoma City, he was talking to me about it. He said, dude, separate it. He said, because these builders in the big wheel world are very competitive and they don't want to use other builders for nothing. So as soon as I separated that from my bike building company and sent it off on its own, that's when it started doing really well. So it's great,
smart,
great move.
but it's so fucking
It's dumb. Yeah, it's dumb. But it's kind of cool though, you know, because like we get to do different things with it and show, you know, like we get new logos and stuff and keep it kind of exciting. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew that you were doing that stuff, and but like I said, it's like the brand thing.
Yeah.
You know, like okay, the RPM Moto over here, then the Pineapple Express over here, and you know, I thought hurricane season was over.
Yeah.
Hurricane season was over. Damn.
No, I like it. It's cool.
I hope everybody got that reference. But no, that's man, this is what we need. This is what we got to do, right? Because we got Arkansas. Arkansas's pumping strong. They got a good scene going on. We got to get Oklahoma City on board. We got to get a scene like really popping up there with the hub.
We're like the middle of everybody, you know.
It's that trifecta.
Yeah, there you go.
It's that, what's the other Pineapple Express? The crossweed, the cross joint. They converge.
Oh,
See, Texas, you know, like it's kind of unfair because you can really split up Texas into like 3 states with the distance between Dallas and Houston and Austin, San Antonio area, to where you can have like a lot. And so when we all converge to go do something, it's massive because we have 3 pretty decent bike scenes, right?
Yeah. Dallas
Dallas and Houston are pretty strong. Austin and San Antonio kind of have a conflict of like, are they going to be chopper guys or Dyna guys? What are we doing today? I'm fucking with them. But, you know, they have a scene there. So when we like did this Polar ride last year, we had this massive amount of people coming from Texas, and the ride's dumb. It's not a ride. We're just going to a city to fucking party. Right. But we all had to ride to get there.
yeah.
I mean, it was a ride for us in Dallas to go to Shreveport. It was a ride from the Houston guys, the Little Rock guys, and all that to get there. And when we went, it was fucking awesome. The goal is to get dudes to like do things regardless of how the conditions look. Now, if it's snow on the ground and ice, and obviously we're probably not going to do it, but if it's fucking 30 degrees. This is what we're gonna be drinking about tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna just make
how cold it was.
It's just gonna make the party.
Yeah.
We did the recap podcast for the Polar ride with Tony and Scott came through here. That was the night that the cold front came through that started all the ice and snow in Texas.
For the bad.
So we got fucked up on a podcast. They jumped in their car and drove home.
to get it
6 hours to Little Rock that night on that podcast. We didn't finish till like 11 o'clock that night.
Damn.
And they didn't get home till like 4 in the morning or 5. And apparently they got stuck somewhere because someone went off the road or some shit like that. But
is the Polar ride on this year? Or?
Yeah, it's happening. Tony's going to announce the date soon. It's probably going to be early February.
Oklahoma City?
Oklahoma City, somewhere. So we got to figure out where is going to be the hotel hub that's close to where we can go hit bars.
I told Jaden, maybe told you too, you can just come up one weekend, crash at my place, wherever you want. We can go, I can take you around and
show you the area.
Option 1, 2, or 3.
Go buy Cedar Pants, fuck it.
Yeah, just tell us where to go. Like, it needs to be a hotel, that everybody can book at.
I'm thinking Biltmore.
Because everybody, don't
do that too.
We had, how many people you think we had at the Polar ride last year? It was at least 100.
Texas or
just
altogether?
In general.
There's definitely 100.
A decent hotel, like a pretty big one.
What'll happen is like whoever, like either Scott or Tony or somebody will call out to the hotel to get us rates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be able to get. We all want to stay in the same place because that makes the party even better, right?
Biltmore's got like an indoor pool and shit.
We don't need 100 dudes in a pool. we just need a fucking hotel. Like, what about casinos though?
It down, it'd probably be all right at that one though.
What about like casinos and shit up there?
Yeah, there's that option too. most of them are kind of
That's kind of
on the
not
outskirts of
where-
Oklahoma City. So
Yeah, like you're gonna be riding to go to do some shit at night.
unless you're cool with like doing casino stuff, eating.
Well,
there.
I mean, it's one of those deals that like if they have a hotel big enough to house us,
Oh, they
and
absolutely
enough
do.
shit to do there,
Yeah.
then that could be the hub.
Yeah, there that Riverwind casino right there when you
Yeah, but that's like
cross the river.
So this is what
kinda
this is
a
what
lot
it
of
could be.
town riding to get
Yeah, this is
back.
what it could be. It could be we all get to OKC and we all meet at said restaurant that you guys, like say, hey, this is a good spot that we can all go meet at.
Mm-hmm.
But then from there, we're all going to check in at this hotel on this, reservation or whatever the case may be. And then that's where the party is for the rest of the night. That way, we do get a little bit of the
Little action downtown.
the action of that, but we want to be like the amount of people going. Like you want to be like at a point where you can leave your bike and walk or whatever.
Yeah.
To whatever you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, there's a lot more options than there used to be down there.
It doesn't really matter what you do. In my experience, it's who you do it with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point is I know that there's people in Oklahoma that are into this shit and they just need the push to go be a part of whatever it is. You know what I'm
Every
saying?
now and then I'll be riding around. I'll be like, "Whoa, there's some T-bars. Who's that?"
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, first it's T-bars, and then you see a fucking RT fair, and you're
Yeah.
like, who the fuck let that dude have that? You know what I mean? Like,
Wait a minute, who is that?
it's a strange one, man.
But every now and then, there's not. They're pretty rare
Yeah.
around there.
It's cool though. I mean,
It's cool.
you're seeing it happen. Being from the custom world, it's cool to be something like
Shelby and Brian were the first ones I saw.
He
with
went to this
T-bars.
one bike night with his
Yeah.
FXR when he first finished it, and everybody's like, "Is that the new model?" Like,
Sportster, man.
What?
At this point, I'm just like, yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not.
but
I'm
it's
not
like so
educating
far
tonight.
fetched compared to what they're used to.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I got that too, man. When I pull up on the FXR, dude, so many places like, hey, man, is that a Sportster? And what is that more than anything? And to me, and this is places like Strokers. I go to Strokers on the bike, park it, and dudes are walking up like, man, is that a Sportster? Or what is this?
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind when people you could tell that some people got into bikes in a time frame where that was no longer really on the palette of things to know about. And they never cared enough about bikes to dive deeper into the history of the motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm into this bike and this bike only, and this thing I'm doing right now, and this place, and that's my fucking life in motorcycles.
I like them all. That's my problem.
To me, it was like I was that way. I was the guy like, fuck, I'm into this, and fuck everybody else. I got my fringe, I'm down. And then you start you fall in love with this brand and the history, and you start to look at these other bikes and like, man, that's fucking beautiful. You appreciate it differently. You know
I was
what
always aware of FXRs, but never really given much thought. That Brian at the Chop Shop has one that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Bike's clean.
And Shelby built one too, and that's right about the time I bought mine, and I got the whole education out of Brian. And
Those bars he's built for your bagger.
Oh,
sick.
that guy.
He does a few different types, man. And
I dig him.
Shout out to OKC Chop Shop Brian.
I asked him to come on the podcast years ago.
They got it. Yeah.
He's too cool for me.
No, he's not.
He's quiet though.
No, I like that dude. He's always got some cool shit coming out of his
Dude,
place.
he's awesome. Some of this new shit him and Donnie came up with that it literally just happened Thursday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty cool.
Can you talk about it, or they're going to be doing it on Monday?
Yeah,
No,
they'll probably
we
be
go
doing it
up.
on Monday. No, Donnie can't. He was sitting there staring at his bike at the shop.
I do that a lot.
He came
Sorry.
up with a way to put spools on a factory axle,
I saw that. It's dope.
and that's pretty cool.
They have that little dimple. Don't
It's like
they?
remember like
Well, the
your
14
bicycle,
up
your
got the-
handlebars.
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a little.
So I did see that. I saw one of the pictures. You had an angle. Can you pull that picture up on his on? Is it?
It's on Brian. OKC Chop Shop Brian.
It's on yours too, though, isn't it?
I think it's on mine installed on the bike, but
It's cool though, because you can put them on a factory axle. It's not like you don't have to go out and buy the Kraus axle, which is fucking awesome. I put them
Yeah.
on before; they're great, but you're gonna pay for it.
$400.
I don't know; they're pretty expensive, but
I ain't got that kind of money.
for for some dudes that are just modifying factory shit.
Well,
that's cool.
What was the slashed spacer for?
That's how it tightens. Pulls into the hole. Like he was saying,
Like
yeah.
your handlebar.
Like a handlebar on a bicycle.
Yeah, it's on
yeah.
the ankle. So when you tighten it up, it spreads it apart. And
Oh, okay. That makes sense now.
When
I
he's
I
telling
thought
me-
you just threaded the fucking.
No.
Oh, it's hollow, isn't it?
it's hollow axle.
So after you get past
14
that
up.
little
I think
well,
We haven't figured out which baggers it are. I think it's Rushmore's up.
Yeah, 14.
'Cause some baggers have a solid axle.
Yeah, like skinny tire bikes, they don't have that bore down the center of their
Yeah.
axle. So I think it's the newer ones. But yeah, if you got a newer one, then they'll bolt right in. So
that's not bad.
No,
I
that's
mean, I thought it was
church up. You know,
church it up a little bit, you know.
it's a factory swing arm. It's got the axle locks. And
Bringing
the
that
little
BMX
spool.
culture into Harleys.
Yeah.
I love it. That's dope. I saw that. I was like, what? I don't get it. What's he doing? And then as soon as you said BMX while ago, I was like, oh. Because I remember taking apart fucking handlebars
Yeah.
on BMXs back in the day. Like, this doesn't make
Pull it on
sense.
fucking-
Well, my idea when I was high, it was like an all thread type deal, and I was talking to Brian about it.
Like, all the way through.
Yeah,
Because I have a
It's like you were
Supermoto.
putting some fucking spike.
pegs or something.
Well, I've got a Supermoto with
Yeah.
axle sliders on it, and that's how it goes on.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I could do the spools like that. But then Brian was like, "No, you're an idiot. You just gotta cut this." And I'm like, "Well, that's why you got a mill and stuff." And
yeah, they pulled up the tensile strength for the bolts and everything, and it's like 1,800 a side.
Okay.
I was like, because at first I was like, no, that's not gonna hold a bike up. That's pretty heavy. And he told me, he's like, no, look right here. He pulled it all up, and he's like, this tensile streak of this.
Tell you
and
what,
everything.
man, on
So-
my FXR, I used to because it had a Brock swing arm on there, I was able to use a sport bike stand that just had like the holders,
Right.
not the spool ones, but the swing arm like holders.
flat.
And I could put it up there, pull the wheel off, lube the chain. Like, it was so convenient to work on it. And so that's honestly been the only reason why I have not done chain drive on my performance baggers.
It's too hard to get to.
Because I travel so much on my bike that it would require so much maintenance on the chain. And I know this is lazy, but like putting on the lift, putting a flat jack under it, jacking it up, getting the bags off, cleaning the chain, re-lubing the chain. When I lube things in the shop, I have to be very careful because the silicone and lube fucks up everything in paint.
Oh, yeah.
So I really can't do it at the shop. I got to do it at home. And so I just, I don't want to take my jacks and all the shit. You know what I mean? It's just complicated.
He's a belt guy. I've
belt
shredded
guy,
too many.
100%, 100 belt.
I prefer a belt too.
I ride like an asshole, and
Well, if you're gonna ride like an asshole, you gotta buy a bike to ride like an asshole one.
yeah.
It's like, why buy a Supermoto?
Well, I feel like the belt thing, I think what it was is it, especially for me, like coming from the big wheel world, I was used to spending a lot of money on my bike.
Right.
Right. And so when things got cheaper because there wasn't as many parts, or I didn't have $2,500 in bags and side covers, I was like, well,
Where do you spend it at?
well, fuck it. I'm going to do a chain drive now, Or I think a lot of people now look at it like, what's another $500 purchase they can make, to throw some money at their bike? Because maybe they don't have the $3,000 or whatever to do a paint job. Maybe they don't have the $3,000 or whatever to do a fucking inverted front end. But they do have $500 here and there. And the chain drive was always one of those deals. They feel like they were going to get something out of it. But realistically, in my mind, it just adds a lot more.
They're dirtier.
They're dirtier.
You have to keep
They're
your bike
noisy.
clean, which I do. They're noisy. You got to maintenance them. And when they break, they usually take the primary with them.
That, and most of the time, almost, not that it doesn't happen, but I felt like, because there was supposed to be another bike in that picture, that his bike, his primary, or his pulley bolts backed out.
Oh, yeah.
That happened on FXR.
But it happened on a belt drive
In
pulley.
Sturgis.
Yeah.
Mine was a belt drive.
For real?
We
Those
had to
old
baby it
wheels.
all through Sturgis. Cause
It's like as soon as you, like on these older wheels, even,
Yeah,
newer
you-
wheels too, as soon as you back them bolts out and
I
put
think
them back
it's
in,
probably the powder coat, the heat treat or something.
either
that
powder
does
coat or
something.
something. But I feel like even like on a stock set of wheels, when you pull them in and out, the hole's never exactly the same.
Yeah.
The bolt's going to take a chance of backing out.
I've talked about this a million times, but I feel like if, let's say, a swing arm, right? So your axle, let's just say that your adjustment's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's a little more this or a little more that.
Pulling on that pulley.
Right? And if that pulley's going, then either it's going and it's putting a pressure on the outside, so it's slowly
gyrate.
working
Yeah.
a bolt out. But I feel like if it's perfectly straight and it's a perfectly circular motion, it's less likely to want to force a bolt out. therefore, I feel like, yeah, if you do your torque and your, Loctite, things like that, it'll be good. Or that should be all you have to do.
Yeah, but there's an extra step.
I just wonder how much
you
of
know
that
what?
is that versus like whether or not they have it exactly aligned. Because I know on a bagger though, this is what's weird about a bagger is that we have cush drives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you can
And even with cush drives, when they buy those cush drive hubs with bolted on sprockets, you still don't hear about the bolted on sprockets being
the
pulled out.
Sprocket on a cush drive is usually it's like got teeth inside of it, so like it's not just held on by the bolts. The bolts are just keeping it in place.
Yeah.
You know.
So I feel like it's a weird thing where the cush drive and the ability to flex a little bit, if you will, because it's not bolted to the wheel.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's
Less
is it
vibration.
called a centric axle?
I don't know what they're called, but there's some.
I call them Snell axles,
Snell axles? Yeah.
but I'm an idiot.
I mean, it's the exact same distance.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to worry about it being left or right.
Some of them we've looked at them, and like some of the ones from factory, we'll go change out the little end caps.
Well, I know my FXR was dead nuts on because it was a brand new build.
It was.
And I think it was something to do with the powder or the wheel.
What's the theory on lock washers? Because my first Dyna, I had a turquoise Dyna. I did a frame off. I built it, customized it to go to Dixon Flannel Party back in 16. I drove it from essentially here to downtown Dallas to have lunch with my wife the day I finished it as a shakedown run. And when I got to her parking lot, I went to back the bike out, and my
Bolt on the
bolts
swing arm.
were coming out, but they didn't snap, and it hit my swing arm.
Stopped.
So I was like, thank you, God. It didn't break anything. It just backed out. I caught it. I was able to tighten them all up and get it going. Then I
Sometimes
went,
you hear them chirping.
Did it ever come back after that or no?
so what I did was I went back home or back to the shop, and I went to Home Depot, and I bought lock washers, just like the little fucking and I put those on there, and then I rode it all the way to fucking Arizona that night, actually. And plus, then my brother rode to Sturgis in 2017. Like, I never had any issues.
Mine was in Sturgis. We were staying in
That hotel y'all stay
Yeah.
at? I don't know.
it doesn't matter, Rapid City.
Yeah.
So by the time I'd drive from Rapid City into downtown Sturgis, my pulley bolts would be loose. I'd tighten them up.
Before you leave.
And so that was my Sturgis trip on that bike.
We've safety wired them. Hell, we've had them before that
Yeah.
we've safety wired. and they'll
Safety
still back
wires,
out.
what I like to do at a minimum now.
Yeah.
Unless, I can remember what that thing is we put on mine. It bolts on.
That girdle thing.
That
I don't know
girdle
what you
deal.
call it.
Yeah.
Has little clips on it. You
Yeah.
can't go anywhere now.
Feels like the whole like pulley bolts backing out used to be like one of those like, oh man, like you felt their pain. Now it's
Right.
like it happens to so many people. It's like, get over it.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. You got HIV now, bro. Everybody gets that.
It's, man, you just got to, it's part of going through it. You know, FXRs.
Hopefully you catch it before it fucks you
Yeah,
up.
it was. I don't, man. I felt like, yeah, it happened to me that one time. But my buddy Brad, he's gone through 4 back wheels,
Damn.
and we can't say if it's his fault. But he also does wheelies on his bike too.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, I don't know if there's more. There's been times we would leave the Buffalo down the street, and we'd be 2 miles in, and we're fucked up drunk, so fucked up. To where you don't need to be sitting on your bike on the side of the road if a cop pulls up kind of drunk. And his fucking pulley bolts fucking came out. And I was like, bro, I'm going to go to the house. And I'm going to get my wife, because at the time I only live a few miles down the road. I'm going to get my wife to drive us back, and we're going to help you. But until I get back, you're on your own, dude. Yeah, that shit was always, that's one of those things, man. Like, you know when you get a DWI?
Bathroom.
You ever had one? You ever had a DWI?
Unfortunately, I have not.
Oh, fucking nice.
Well, fortunately, should I say.
He'll be back here
Yeah.
in the next podcast.
I got lucky. I should have got
Why
one.
did you ever drink?
Oh, yeah, like a fish, man.
So what made you
I had
want
a
to
problem
stop?
with it.
I'm asking you because I got to figure out what the problem is everybody else had to see if I'm in that spot where I have a problem. It's kind of like, is that what they do at AA?
I got in trouble, and I had to quit drinking.
Okay.
And then I was doing it pretty heavy, like with some other substances, and I had to get sober because I got in trouble and found out that I felt better. You know what I mean? I had more money in my pocket to buy cool FX hard parts and shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not the smartest guy in the math, but I could do a little math.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out, man, because there's this balance that I know that is out there in the world.
Yeah.
Of
I'm not preaching this big sobriety
No,
life. 'Cause
yeah.
I smoke weed, but what we were talking about earlier,
yeah,
you just that one little spot you hit.
yeah. I like that. I like that wavelength of like 2 beers in.
Yeah.
And if I could stay there, but you know, once you get there, it's like, okay, a little beer, a little water, a little beer, a little water. Like you don't know how to like balance that. But I like that place because it calms, it like shuts up all the fuzz, all the, I guess what it does for me is it allows me to focus more. But then like I can't drink and airbrush or drink and work, right?
Right.
Because I don't that little window of opportunity of perfect clarity is not a big window. You know what I mean?
It's more of a socializing thing for me is what I found. I had to relearn how to socialize.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Some people I can't listen to unless I had a beer.
Well, those are the people you just have to stay away from.
Well,
I mean-
they're good people. I just don't care until I have
Trust me, he hears it every day.
Yeah.
And I always tell him there's two types of problems in this world, yours and mine. You know, that's a you fucking problem.
It's always
So-
weird. Like, fucking perfect example. I'll probably be at the Polar Ride and the little dungeon bar we were at. Listen to dude tell me his life story, and I'm so interested, and it's only some fucking drunk. Because if I was sober, I'd be like, the fuck out of here, dude, with your bullshit. Like, I don't care about, you know what I mean?
I'm always interested to sit down and talk to people and hear their story, but I don't want to hear when you're fucked up, though, because things get embellished. And
I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's the only time I can allow it to,
I can't even fucking concentrate when I'm drunk talking
Yeah.
to somebody
Yeah.
and they're trying to tell me a whole story. I don't even know what they're saying.
Oh, well, I feel like, I think that it allows me to hone in on what someone's saying and kind of internalize their words.
that's probably what weed does for me. I
Yeah.
mean, so pick your poison, you know. What
Trust
substance.
me, yeah. I
But,
don't know. I feel like it's a weird.
I
thing
just
to
feel
do.
better not drinking, you know, half a gallon of vodka a day and popping
See,
a handful of Xanax.
I want to hang out with a dude that had a problem like that, like getting fucked up, and be like, he got it fixed, and I'm like, oh, and I see it visually because I've met so many people in my life that are sober, and like, yeah, I was fucking wild, and I'm like, how wild were you, dude? Like, let's be real, you know what I mean? Because I never got to see that side of so many people that decided to be sober, so I never really got to see a difference as to what it is, and I don't know. I guess because the drinking thing for me is like doing a podcast in general, right? Trying to go sober during the week is not that hard, but if someone's coming to town to do a podcast, alcohol makes it better.
Oh, 100 and I
know what I
can't
mean?
imagine. I mean,
Not 14 beers deep a piece.
those
better.
are the best podcasts, though.
I keep telling people they don't fucking understand. Like,
When it's just you and your boys and y'all are getting fucked up in here in a 6-hour podcast. I ain't gonna lie, I love them. I'm doing laundry and just laughing and fucking going out in the garage. And,
yeah, it's weird because I took this last 3 weeks off or almost 4 weeks off doing podcasts, and interacting with people. They'd be like, "Man, I really like those podcasts where you sit down with Fuel Moto and you hear that story." I'm like, "Dude, I love those too."
yeah, I like those.
But if I ever go back and do another podcast with Fuel Moto,
It's gonna be different.
too. Yeah,
do you want to hear the same story again?
Yeah, what are we
Right.
talking about?
You want to hear the amazing Spider-Man versus the last Spider-Man? Like, it's the same story, just like we're gonna wear costumes. You're like, what are we gonna do, man?
Yeah.
So you have to find a way for this content to keep going. You have to find a way to kind of carry the conversation where it's interesting, and not that getting fucked up is necessary, but it does help the ebb and flow of conversation to where people feel
it brings your
more
anxiety level down.
yeah, like
And-
because you got nerves, and
Yeah.
like I said, man, I can't draw like sketch ideas. I need a beer or two, and between 2 beers and 6, I got some good sketches done.
I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
Thank you.
well, you said you wanted to know if you had a problem. You didn't know.
Say that. I'm gonna tell my wife.
Yeah.
If you're drinking 18er every night,
Yeah,
yeah, I might be like, yeah, you got a problem.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how.
you know, a couple of beers is no different than a couple hits of weed. Man.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know how functioning alcoholics do it, man. The next day, I hate my life. I'm
Yeah.
like, nope.
Yeah, it's different if you're like,
you just
If
postpone the hangover, man. I did it for like 20 years.
Just keep going.
yeah, you
Hair of
need
the
like
dog.
like a 30-pack of Natty Lights in your fridge every night. Like,
All right. If you're drinking Natty Lights, yeah, you have a problem.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't want everyone to be broke and still be an alcoholic. I might have some intel on the new Lowrider S dropping.
Uh-oh.
are you sure you can talk about it?
Fuck yeah, they can't. Is Harley a sponsor of this? Fuck no. Fuck those nerds. I just make their bikes cooler.
Should just pay me directly.
Dude, it's so crazy. Like being a a podcaster, right? Like, fuck me, right? But if I was a YouTuber, then Harley would pay for me to go fly across the country to go ride the new Pan Am to tell you guys what I think about it.
But not a podcaster?
Not a podcaster.
Oh, yeah, two different type of people.
No,
Yeah.
because I say fag.
Yeah.
You started on that.
What do you know what the difference is in the Pan America? What is it, R or something?
Oh, I didn't even pay attention to that
You haven't
shit.
seen that?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, there's a new like a Pan Am R or some shit.
We hadn't been at our local dealership in a couple weeks, so
Keep it close.
we hadn't been at our local dealership in a couple weeks, so we haven't got any new scoops on anything. But like, we got a couple guys up there that are big into the Pan Americas and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I got to pee real quick, and then I want to we'll go into this spill of this new bike thing because I have a lot to talk about with
Okay.
that.
watch them stairs, they're a motherfucker on
Yeah.
crutches.
For those that there's not much to see, but
Yeah.
for those that haven't seen, if you look on Instagram or Harley's website, I'm sure it's just a small little clip. It shows
Is it something more than just like a camera like going past something close?
it's literally just a camera going
Oh, that's-
past
no,
the
that's not
name
enough.
of Pan Am R
Oh.
coming soon.
Remember at the hood ride when we were riding along, this dude ate like serious
Is
shit
that
on
is
his
that
porch.
Saks?
And we had to get that.
Yeah,
Okay, they give you like a free helmet and stuff that day or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. We were
Yeah,
behind you, and he got his first aid kit out.
I swear I've had like 20 people say they were right behind me.
There was
I
a
was
lot
gonna
of
give you
us.
the first aid kit. I was right there behind you. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
That was a fun little spiel, man.
Ugh. You got close to that curb.
Yeah.
Could have been
Yeah,
bad.
so that was my whole thing is because I had just started getting comfortable, like keeping it straight up.
Yeah.
And
Not like
I
that. Was it that day or the day before that they were saying that you just like got comfortable with like 12 o'clock
basically,
or that
I mean,
week or something?
I mean, I've been banging wheelies like I'm by myself, like
Yeah.
to home and back and
Uh-huh.
shit, but I got a little too comfortable because I was watching everybody,
Yeah.
all these
They're going
badass
hard as
dudes
fuck,
around me.
too.
I'm just like, oh hell yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fucking feeling it. I got it up for like,
Watch this.
yeah, I'm holding it for about like 10 seconds, and then I came back
Ugh.
a little too far, busted my light, and then I started going left, and I was like, well, I'm either gonna go straight into that curb or into oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
So it's either that or just like put it down,
Yeah.
and see what happens. So I put it down, and
You pulled up the ample like a boss, though, after crashing.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
They closed the Anvil, didn't they?
yeah, they did.
I seen that. Somebody posted that. I was like, damn, I kind of like that place. It was fun.
It fucking went downhill after a couple of years of doing it there.
Yeah.
Well, Anvil went out of business.
Well, yeah, but before that,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I guess they're getting rid of the 107. So every bike's gonna have 114 now.
Oh, nice.
So the Lowrider S they're dropping will have a 117 in it.
I saw some 2022 baggers of 107s, but they said they might have been leftovers or
Yeah, it should be. So
there is some standards going 107s that I saw.
now
Baggers.
the touring one that we leaked back in September, we should be seeing at the end of this month. Now there was a rumor from my source that said that they might push that release back because of my leak. They said because they don't want people to know about it, they want it to be like this, like you want to build a bike and then not everybody know about it, right? So what happened was when I leaked that photo, people were calling their local dealerships, like you said, you got your local dealership. Hey man, what's up with this bike I just saw on Instagram?
Yeah. What?
And the dealership's going, hey Harley, what's up with this bike? Some dude posted on Instagram. What's up with this? And the dealers don't know. I had some lady that works, like some chick, I'm trying to be nice to him, try to have a debate with me on that post about where did you get this from? Harley didn't release it yet, so how do you know about it? I'm a Harley parts fitter, whatever they call them, the parts specialist or some shit at dealerships. And I'm like, I'm not responding to this chick on Instagram.
Sorry.
Like, what am I going to, like...
What are you trying to prove?
This is so far from the kitchen.
God, man.
Oh, man.
Cheers.
Start out this year right.
Biting my tongue so hard now.
No, but what it was just kind of
I've got a rant, but this ain't the spot for it.
I got that photo quite a while back, like over a year. I've been sitting on that photo, and when I was in fucking Florida with all the homies, Justin, my machinist, Big Will, Cody, James, at Tarpon Turbos. We were down in Tampa, and I was telling them about the bike, and it made me remember, like, I got a photo of this bike. Let me show them. And so I was like, oh, hey, I texted homeboy. I was like, hey, can I post this? And he goes, yeah, fuck it. They can't trace us. So I posted it.
Yeah.
And then, the YouTube world went crazy because now there's like 1 million YouTube videos about the new release of this bike. And the funny thing is, I guess the ego in me is like, I'm the only person that has put that photo out, period. Or I was the first. There was no other photo of that in circulation. And then you start watching these YouTube videos, and they're like, yeah, so we're starting to see sources and, through our sources and like as if they have that same plug that I have, that they got the photo too. And it's just kind of like, it's like, once again, fuck with my ego. I'm like,
Man, fuck you.
But no, they were talking about pushing the bike a month or so just to basically devalue the leak, if that makes sense.
That sounds like something somebody with a
So
big
you're blowing that out
education
of the
would
water
do.
right now.
But that's all they got going for them because they've already released, all the dealerships already have the new 22 bikes, or they're already starting to deliver 2022 bikes that are basically not being changed. This bike is a released bike, being that it's a special. So it's just like when the Pan America came out, where each dealership got like 2 of them. This is going to be the situation with this. Like, this bike's going to get released on probably the 26th or 22nd. They're supposed to do the live thing.
I didn't know.
It's like Harley does their
What, this month?
Yeah, this month. And so they'll release they're going to talk about all the big plans. And then they'll probably start to take delivery of this bike in maybe earliest April.
I figured it'd probably be like a mid-year deal.
That's what we're saying. So if they pushed it to a mid-year deal, it would be like the Pan America. When the Pan America was released technically in like February or April. And then people took ownership in basically late May, June.
Yeah, you see them at the events and stuff. Yeah.
Same thing with that bike. I bet Sturgis comes around and stuff. It'll be a fresh.
Yeah,
new thing.
there'll be quite a few. Sturgis will be one of those events where there'll probably be enough of them to where we'll see some custom, because you got to think it's a Lowrider S, right?
All that shit's already out there.
So there's already enough parts out there for you to customize this bike, put wheels, swing arm, all this shit. The only thing coming new to this bike is the fairing, and then of course the Sport Glide bags are there too. But
Which I'm really
Yeah, I don't care about the bike. Where's the part number?
curious to
So
see
that shit.
this fairing. I want to see what it looks like on the inside and whatnot.
supposedly it has a radio situation where I don't think it's a radio like faceplate. It's more like a Bluetooth,
Right.
your phone, like kind of a Rockford Fosgate type situation.
Didn't they like partner up with them or something? Or?
I'm sure they did, because that was what was told to me was Rockford Fosgate on the radio setup. But there's also a rumor that it could be all quick detach, which would be strange because it's a fixed fairing. To be able to quick detach, that would be strange.
You scratch a lot
and
of stuff.
you'd have to like reinstall a headlight. Like I don't see how that would be possible. So that might
Not
have
for
been
Joe Blow in the garage.
Yeah.
No.
Do you think it's gonna come with the, you know how Harley and Olin's partnered up? Do you
No,
think
it's going to
out
come
that?
with the traditional front end from the Lowrider S.
What about the monoshock?
It's Rockford. He's watching. The monoshock, yeah, it'll be monoshock, but it's a Lowrider S, so they're already monoshock. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see it, and I just can't wait for everybody to like back me up saying I didn't lie to anybody. I wasn't fucking. It wasn't.
Told you so.
It's like I'm just trying to be the fucking messiah here, dude.
I like that Harley's partnering up with some new people, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's strange because they have to partner up to stay. That's everything, right? All brands collab, right? Collab is what is kind of like one of those gross words we say, like, "Hey, bro, you want to collab?" It just sounds fucking nerdy as shit,
I'm not
right?
doing that with you, man. No, I'm just kidding.
But that's what the world we live in now, man. Like brands collab together. Beats did a fucking collab with what was it, Kia or Hyundai, with like all their speakers in a car. Like who the fuck? Yeah, like you're not harming Cardin or some shit like that, or however you say that.
Yeah.
Like your Beats. Like they were trying to sell more of that to a culture that knows what Beats is.
Right.
Not everybody knows what Bose is.
Right.
Right. And nobody had fucking Japanese cars in the 90s when it was all about that Bose system. You know what I'm saying?
Never had no Japanese cars, man.
no.
Hey, well, you know, we get it. You're American.
No, it's just I always had piece of shits, man.
Trust me, they all become piece of shits at one point in time.
But they're like piece of shits with small block Chevy, so I could go to the salvage yard.
Yeah,
and steal
now
plug
those
wires
are
and-
all worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
So-
Now I'm old though, Jace. So back then it was.
Were you trading trucks for CD players back in the day?
We just stole CD players, man. Shit. No.
I wonder what it was like to just like walk past the car and go like, should I steal that?
I can remember being in high school having a pull-out radio though, and I thought
Yeah.
you're walking down the hot, you got this radio.
Oh yeah, dude! I had the fucking
Fucking handle on
faceplate.
it.
Yeah, you got to.
You had the faceplate. You can put it in a little foam, little carrier.
Yeah.
Throw it in
Used
your
to,
backpack.
the pull-outs. Some guys out there my age will remember this. He had a bar that flipped up. And
Yeah,
you pulled the whole damn
radio.
Yeah.
It's like a suitcase or going down the hallway to put it in your locker.
I remember taking the faceplates with you, like somebody's gonna steal it.
Back then they would.
Yeah,
but
they
like
did
most
back
of the
then.
shit, most of the time, when the people that took their faceplates were in high school and shit, and they didn't like the radio wasn't worth stealing anyways.
So he's saying that we might be seeing the CVO baggers. I think it's baggers. He can confirm with me. Might be seeing a larger displacement M8 motor, like a 121 or 124 from Harley.
That makes sense if you look at the evolution of the 96 and the 103 and then
Yeah, just bigger, better.
110. What was standard on the CVO this year, 2 years later, is the
I used to hate the M8. Like I was always a twin cam guy, and then the M8 came out, and I'm like, I don't know, And then we started learning shit about them, and
Everybody was like, "Oh, one cam, like that can't be better."
like an old Evo or something. Got the cam
Yeah.
in the middle. But
Yeah,
no,
I remember that. It was kind of a thing where everybody was like, "Oh, who the fuck wants a single cam? We're twin cams."
It don't
brother."
even shake my teeth out,
Yeah.
It's smooth. What? No.
And but then like they were so underbuilt and
Yeah,
capable of doing so much power.
yeah, that's what
When you start putting cams and stuff in them, and like,
Yeah.
then they start
Ridiculous.
sounding like Harley again, and you're like, yeah, okay.
I guess I'm not ingrained enough with it to where certain aspects of one of the biggest things that people I heard old heads talking about was like when you click it into gear, it didn't
Clack.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was just like a smooth
Yeah.
transition. I'm like, ain't that good?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
do you want it to like jump the bike
Sound
like
like your
you're
transmission slapping together.
like
Yeah.
you're trying to like flex on it? Did you see that video of Nate Diaz like jumping at some dude and he fucking threw his cuff up in the air? You haven't seen that shit? Oh man, there was this video. It was like I was going down a Reels game and it was basically a video of like watching Nate Diaz walk across like not the stage but like the path to get backstage, and it's got one of those fucking things where they were the dude's laughing in the background like heavily. So it was like a voiceover type situation like they do on TikTok and whatnot. And there's this video. He's like building up the laugh, and then Nate Diaz like jumps at this dude, and he has like a drink, and all you see is the ice fly in the air. And because the dude's getting ready to fucking whatever.
He's just like, fuck.
Jump.
Look it up, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
Ooh.
You got any more of those?
Yeah. Some Coronas.
Coronas, eh?
Good luck with that one.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yeah, I was I don't know. I definitely want to, to what we were talking about earlier. I definitely want to find a. I would.
Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome. I definitely would like to find a happy medium. I thought whiskey was going to be that, but whiskey is like way. I love drinking with like when me and my wife go have dinner somewhere. I'll have a whiskey and I'm
You
good.
feel like a gentleman when you drink whiskey.
I feel way cooler than I am. Way cooler.
Yeah.
But I dig it. It's a chill vibe. It's not something I hammer, but
Yeah.
when I drink whiskey in a podcast, I drink it like I drink beer, and then I'm fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this weird thing where you have to figure out how to do extracurricular activities with your friends and find out what's the good one to get the longest like coherentness
Like I
out
said,
of you.
I had to relearn how to socialize.
So what'd you have to do to re-socialize?
Well, I was used to, guys drinking beer. Shit. I don't drink beer no more. Really.
So what do you do? Struck them off?
Smoke a little weed, and it's hard. It really is.
Yeah.
Uh,
It is hard.
Right now?
People don't know that we're friends. We fuck with each other like that. Yeah.
I mean, but it's alcohol or weed or whatever. It helps you. Like, say you're going to go to the Campout or something. If you're drinking, you don't know anybody there. It helps you put
Lubricant.
your guard down. It's a lubricant. Right?
Yeah.
So, but when you take that lubricant away, I mean, you're going in dry. You got to really learn how to do it.
Yeah.
But it's pros and cons for me. Everything's a pro and con. So,
Would you not say that, like, when it's around biker culture, that it's a lot easier because the lubrication can just be the conversation?
Oh, 100%.
Of like, hey, man, where'd you ride in from, or what kind of
Yeah.
bike is it, or whatever.
Stuff you get excited about.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's a lot easier
But,
to
you know,
talk.
most people I meet out there don't ride Harley Davidsons, and, I don't care what Timmy did at softball last night. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, how do you have that conversation, man?
Yeah.
You sat here and like, yep, so it was cold today.
But motorcycles is good for me, though.
Yeah, I felt like we've always talked about it in our friends group, like when you have this immersive like world that we live in and operate in, like social media is kind of like that vein to connect everybody. When you go to somewhere and you're like hanging out with your wife and her coworkers and people like that, and they're all like, "Oh, so I heard you like motorcycles." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a way you can put it." Mm-hmm. So what are they like? And like every question, like someone that doesn't know who you are or know what you're into, is like they ask the biggest questions with the biggest explanations. What I mean? Like I was doing a little fucking little thing with the, on my mom on Zoom a while ago with the insurance lady for her life insurance. She's like, "Oh, that's a nice microphone you got. What are you doing there?" Like I have a podcast for motorcycles. She just immediately jumps into, "I know somebody with a motorcycle." I'm like, "Do you?"
Yeah.
And like, where are we going with this? Like,
Can I just get my quote? Shit.
yeah.
That's me every day.
But I feel like that's the asshole in me, like where, like you never know where those kind of conversations can lead. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's like someone is interested in motorcycles, but they don't know how to approach somebody else to find that, that connection, if you will.
I mean, some turn into like a business transaction. Yeah. I mean, I've had tons of times you're out eating dinner, whatever, and somebody sees like a shirt you're wearing or something. Well, what do you do? And they're like, you tell them, and they're like, "Oh, well, I got this. Have you ever worked on that?" And you're like, "Yeah, I do that all the time." And the next thing you know, you got a guy that's calling you on Monday morning, going, "Hey, dude, let's get it in." So, I mean,
A funny story, because I had to go get vinyl for my vinyl cutter for this bike I'm working on. Mm-hmm. I had a Legend sweater hoodie on, the same one I was wearing earlier. And I went into the place, and I only go there like 3 times a year because I don't use vinyl that much. And the dude that walked in had a Harley Davidson, Black Hills Harley Davidson hoodie on. And I'm like, yeah, I just need that over there. Like, I'm just hoping that he would get the deeper cut reference of Harley.
Most of them don't.
I
And he
do that
didn't.
shit too.
No.
And I was like, fuck, man.
Bought the sweater. He probably
It's like the
don't even
time
own
that
a
I
bike.
do want to have a Harley conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you got a Harley shirt on?
He don't even got a bike. He's got a Honda that he bought.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that would be the new troll. Like every time you see a guy with a Harley shirt on, not a troll, but like just ask him, like, hey man, how was Sturgis this year? You know, just like whatever they said, like just like call him out on it and see if it was like, oh whether or not they went or their
checked out or
homie
not.
got them a shirt or something like that.
Yeah.
Blast at Sturgis this year.
You like it?
Yeah, I did. I didn't.
Is it your first year?
No, it's my second.
Second? Nice.
Yeah, it's my second too.
But
What was your first year?
20.
Mine was.
So I went the past 2 years in a
I was
row.
19 maybe.
19?
19. Yeah. My first year. Yeah.
19 was.
That's a weird year that year.
I feel like 19 was a good year.
But for where I was at.
Oh, 19. Yeah, that was year me and Steve Chamberlain ripped up there solo. That was like, there was very few performance baggers there.
That's what I was seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the style and stuff was like in a weird like limbo. You know, you don't know what was going to happen next.
I went up in 2020 and knocked out all the.
All the rides.
I'd say I went up there and I rode Spearfish on my big wheel bike, and I was like, dude, I'm coming back next year. I had bought a Dyna that year. That, you know, right after I got back, I got a Dyna, and I was like, dude, this is gonna be my Sturgis bike, and I ended up selling it. Then, you know, got to go, you know, a year later with the new one, and me and him are rolling through. Where were we at? We were on the backside like Spearfish or something.
Just refrigerated.
And we're just like, we're in like fourth gear, just taking our time, you know, doing our thing. And this dude we got some fucking 18-inch apes behind us. You get the straightaway, you just hear him hammering down. And then like you look in your mirror and you'd see him trying to slow down, catch corners and stuff. We're like, we got our headphones or, you know, our mics on and shit. We're just making fun of him.
We're like,
dude.
man, are you watching this, dude?
Yeah.
In the corners, it's like, bah, they threw the straight again. I was like,
He would
Take
catch
a
us
speed,
in the
bro.
straightaways. He's got he got us there.
Yeah, that's weird, man, because I figure, when is that going to be us?
In the back?
No, just like whatever is the new.
Oh, when we're trying to keep up
Yeah,
kind of thing? Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe when all the Harleys go to water cooled, and it's like,
I don't know.
we're still on the fucking air cooled ones.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just funny, man.
You ever feel like a caveman when the new Harley shit comes out? You're like, what?
You know when the new
Like the SpongeBob meme where he said, I guess y'all don't know what I'm talking about.
I
watch
do know what
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. I haven't seen every season.
No, that's a meme. He's like a fucking caveman. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have.
I think I have.
You got a big stick.
When Harley drops things, in my new perspective of the industry, like being in the podcast stuff and of everything like that, I immediately think of how that's going to impact the scene or the industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What the motor company does has a direct result as to what we do, and usually, for years they've been so far behind they've never been able to be on the same page as the trends.
Yeah.
Now they're on the same page as the trends. And so what I think is happening, and maybe a lot of brands aren't recognizing, is with that taking place, things are going to happen so much faster where you're going to have to produce parts faster, because when Harley does something, then China does something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? So when China, you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to go exponentially faster. So when people are sitting here thinking like, should we invest into this style trend? Well, if you haven't already, then you might be behind the curve. If you haven't started working on these type of bikes or whatever, you're going to get in these like pockets of America where the local bar scene doesn't give a fuck about your handlebars unless they're fucking wide apart and fucking back at you and meat hooks, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get that, and that's fine. And you know what I mean? That's just the way the world works. And honestly, we don't need everybody to have the same shit, because that would be boring, right?
Yeah.
But there are certain parts of the country that really push the trends. You know, obviously California, Arizona, Texas has become a bigger one. But I don't know. I'm stoked. I feel like this is like a new thing for us in the industry. You know, Harley released stretch bags on their Harleys
When nobody wants them.
when nobody wants them.
Yeah.
You know, and now they're releasing bikes that we all want right now while we want them, and that's like one of the first times I've ever
The
seen
question
that.
is, do we want that bike now that you're giving it to me? Do I want it?
I think now we'll probably want that because with Indians' pressure,
Right.
with what they've put out there, it gives a loyalist to Harley the opportunity to have the answer. You know, once Harley drops the actual Revolution Max bagger, which will be coming this year sometime. When that happens, like, that's going to be a whole nother game. But this Lowrider S with the fairing,
I like it. If it's
I mean, you
real.
can finance it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you can finance this bike with all the parts that you're going to have to go scavenge otherwise.
You got to build.
Me and you might not do that, right?
Right.
Like, me and you might try to put it together and build it on our own, right? But the only thing I can think about is, like, in 2001, when I was an import car builder, and I was, like, buying Japanese front clips and putting them into American-made cars, and then Dodge decided to put out a turbocharged Neon.
Yeah.
That every kid can finance and their parents would buy them, and all of a sudden these Neons are fucking raping WS6 Trans Ams. Like, that changed the narrative for the street racing in that world at the time, the turbo world of that. So I feel like right now, what'll probably happen is this Lowrider S will come out with the touring package, and it's going to be a great buy for a lot of people, but it's going to push the custom industry to find a new narrative to make these bikes unique and different again, because now you can simply sign away to a custom cool bike.
Yeah, you're in it.
Have you heard where that price range that bike's going to come in at?
That's been the well, they're releasing what they call a performance bagger. I'm getting all these like feeds right while I'm fucking doing this podcast. So they're supposed to be releasing a bagger that has performance parts on it.
It's already got like their suspension and stuff.
It's apparently it's like I think I heard at one point it was going to be like a 1,500 unit performance bagger package that they're going to sell, not like a CVO,
with 8-inch bars.
but apparently it's supposed to have bars and risers,
Oh, okay.
possibly mid controls, their full Öhlins suspension, Harley Öhlins,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
Chinese. It's going to be their version of like a quick to market, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like apparently the Lowrider S, the last one, the Softail was a quick to market thing. Like they did the Lowrider S in the Dyna. It was really well received.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, well, we have the Lowrider Softail. Let's just black it out, put the same front end that's on this bike on this, a 114, and ship it.
Yeah.
And then everybody fucking dug it. Every chick in America bought it, right?
Yeah.
Bling, bling.
Trying to
Can't wait. New man this year.
I'm not going to do it. No.
You don't have anything to lose. I got it all.
Well, that's the thing.
They just talk about people that
No, I love it, man.
they do like, so you got some people that they get a lot of people that follow them for what they do and stuff, but some of it's like sitting here and doing kind of like what we do.
Women. I'm a woman builder. Are you a builder or
Yeah.
Well, I didn't take it there.
I told you. Tiptoe.
That's a little too deep for me. I'm just fucking with you.
You
No,
know-
what do you? So, how do you feel like you're a skilled individual with machines, with building bikes, things like that? How do you see the world now with social media and the way the world looks at bike builders now? Like, how do you feel in that?
Well, I see some people on there doing stuff, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, I wish I was like at that point. There's some very talented people out there. The Chop Shop guys. They got Brian and all them up there doing their thing, and like, I feel like I'm doing some like garage shit compared to what some of the stuff they're doing. My machine is.
Yeah.
The guys that have the
He has
nice
a fucking
machines.
machine in his garage, so it's
Yeah, but he's a garage machinist. No, he's good.
exactly.
But no, I don't consider to be up there like with some of those people like that. So that's when I see influencers and stuff on social media, and they're like, "Oh, I'm a builder," and I'm like, "What are you building?" Like,
That's the weird thing, right? So you said influencers. So where's the, because everything's social media based, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, which I guess if you're on Facebook still,
yeah, it's kind of slow on there.
where
Marketplace, bro.
yeah, it's a actually you get some
Where
good
you buy
deals on
cars and
Craigslist
shit,
right
yeah.
now. Just
You've been on
fucking
forever.
pro tip: Craigslist fucks right now because everybody's on Marketplace.
Oh.
So all the dumb motherfuckers that don't know how to use Marketplace are back on Craigslist. You gotta sift through all the bots, if
Yeah.
you will, but there's good deals in there, and nobody's calling them because nobody fucking goes on Craigslist anymore. But where, like, the whole industry is like paying attention to the influencer, and there's only so many of those influencers that are actually skilled craftsmen in their field. A lot of them are just great public speakers.
Yeah.
You know, great showmen.
They got cool
on,
t-shirts.
Yeah, on YouTube and t-shirts. Some people have really good hats that just say something real simple.
Like, that's me.
But what happened, like, where does that go where the whole world starts to pay attention to a, now I feel like influencers and air quotes brand ambassadors, all those things are very important to our industry.
Yeah.
Because that's the industry we live in now.
Oh, 100%.
But to only pay attention to those people and not the innovators of the products and the brands and the people out there doing things, it's almost like another category for the working class side of it, of people that are creating things that if people don't, what it's boiled down to is if you don't cultivate a social media experience for people to watch, people don't care.
Really?
Regardless of how cool your bikes are being built, you can just hope that you build a badass bike and then all the influencers share it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird world where like you're giving all the power to people that aren't really that connected to the motorcycle industry. They're just maybe, and unfortunately there are dudes out there doing it and there's lots more coming on, but there are also a lot of women on there who have no fucking business being an influencer in a scene where their shirt's cut down to their fucking belly button and they're trying to install a sissy bar and it doesn't fit and their tits are bouncing. Like, that's not,
Yeah, but they're watching it. It doesn't.
I get it. I get it. But that's not, that is idiocracy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that is taking place in our industry, and that is going to be the death of it. You know, like, just fucking go on Pornhub, dude, if you want to jerk off to some shit. Don't watch some dumb bimbo trying to put a sissy bar on her bike because she, like, bro,
Yeah.
you know she's not going to pull her titty out. Why are you worried about it? Why why watch
It's on
it?
YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Like, dude, cut that shit out, man. Lisa Ann has done enough fucking bike porn for a lifetime, dude. We're going to be good. If you don't know who Lisa Ann is, dude, I don't fuck with you.
Oh, I know.
My man. But I'm saying, like, it's a weird thing. Like, and all these things are gonna, like, in my opinion, are gonna have an impact on our industry.
Yeah.
You know, if the whole world, like, we grew up in a sense where we went to bike events and we saw the likes of Billy Lane and Jesse James and Yaffe and hell, even Shope, you know, Covington, as they're like, fuck, I got to fucking shake hands. I got a picture with Covington,
Yeah.
right? And now it's like, I got a picture with this dude that doesn't work on bikes, but he tells everybody what
Yeah.
cool windshield to buy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I did it.
like, where we go with this, man?
Yeah.
Like, and it's, you know, I kind of blame, I don't blame, but I feel like, especially doing podcasts and you talk to all these very, very talented individuals in their fields and they just like, I'm just not good at social media. And I'm like, well, you know, once again, things changed and you had to be good.
Yeah,
And because you weren't good, now people are more interested in this fucking dumb shit
Yeah.
because you didn't give them an option.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
You're not cool if you sell out and become a social media guy. But if you don't, then, you
It's
know.
a double-edged sword. Without social media, everything that you guys have been building, you know, probably wouldn't be possible.
I mean, I've been riding bikes cross country.
True.
I've been did. We got any more Dos Equis down there?
But maybe not with these particular guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you wanted to do any travels like on bikes? Like, have y'all got a chance to do any?
Yeah.
More than ever right now, because I can't do shit. But
I haven't lately, but last year
yeah,
I did a few and had a good time.
So, are you like when you ride, everything's good? Like, you don't feel like you have like any ailments that make it hard to do?
I'm good for about.
Because you said you have a knee.
I had
like,
my knee replaced. I got a bad hip. I raced motocross for
Yeah.
years, and it took its toll. But I'm good for 600-700 miles a day.
That's pretty good.
I mean,
If
I ain't no bitch.
How old are you?
48.
It's not bad. If I could do that at 48, I'll be a happy man.
yeah,
I feel like I could probably do more because I did that on a 23 air ride street glide.
yeah. Now he's got some suspension.
I got old
suspension under his ass.
Say that
a good
word
seat,
again?
So,
It's
yeah.
hard, right?
Yeah,
Suspension.
yeah. So
Syllables.
So I might be
Yeah.
able to go get my bike set up more comfortable.
That's why when I went to the new style, I was excited about actually going to these events because this type of bikes that we used to do, you can ride them. I've rode them to Oklahoma to Dallas, Fayetteville and back. I've done it, just to be the dumbass that's like, hey, I ride my fucking big wheel. I've done it. Been
With
there.
you. Yeah.
But I was like, once I got the new bike, I was like, dude, this is so much better. Like, I can't wait to start hitting these events and like actually going and putting some miles on it and doing things. And kind of what y'all were up to. We were watching that and like, dude, that's where it looks fun again.
It makes jumping on your bike to ride down to Dallas on a Tuesday for bike night nothing.
Yeah, that's why he did that on a Tuesday night after work. He's like, hey, I'm going to Texas. I was like, okay, I'll see you Friday. And he's like, no, I'll be back. Came back the next day.
It's
So
That's what I think is pretty dope about it all. That's kind of what I'm worried about. Like I said, my pessimistic attitude right now with the current trends of our bikes. I know everybody in the industry is like so stoked about Daytona right now, and right now Daytona is going to be full of some fucking top notch.
Yeah.
Some of the best performance baggers that have ever came out will be at Daytona this year. So in that sense, I don't want to take any fucking shine away from that because it's going to be dope.
yeah, they're all putting it in for this one. I mean,
But I always,
you're not gonna go.
no.
I thought after missing out last year, you were like, oh, "Fuck it, I'm going."
Well, I did miss out. But then when in hindsight, when I compared what I did versus what I missed,
Yeah.
it wasn't even in the same ballpark.
Right.
You know what I mean? And and I say that. Thank you.
thanks, beer assistant.
Well, when I say that, when I say that, I say it with like going to Daytona to show your bike off is definitely like there's a level that everybody needs to do that. In my opinion, there's a stage where it's a good stage for you to show off what you've created over the winter time, and Daytona is very crucial for a lot of states that have a fucking cutoff as to when they can be bikers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for me, I guess I'm adopting. I said this to Justin the other day. It's like if it ain't worth riding to, it ain't worth going. And so for me, I'm not worth. Daytona is just not enough of a fix for me.
Right.
Me personally, as where I'm at in my career
I get
as a biker, whatever.
I mean, the riding there is pretty good, but like
Oh my
being
God.
there, there's
the,
not really
the
nothing to-
riding there. You mean
I mean, Louisiana sucks. I mean,
it's the same
Yeah.
from Louisiana
yeah.
there.
I mean, it's a long ride, but like when I was there, I didn't really like. What are you gonna do? Ride down the coast and back? I mean,
Well,
I didn't really care for that part of it.
if I didn't have, all the homies in Florida,
Oh, yeah.
and the constant traveling back and forth to Florida, then there would be this like, oh shit, like what's Florida like? I forgot last year. Let me go back. But being that I was in Florida, 3 months ago, there's not a draw to go back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, most of the people that I'm worried about missing, I'll see them at the Campout. You know what I mean? And then after the Campout, I'll see them at Sturgis.
Yeah.
And then after Sturgis, we'll see them either down south or whatever the Smokies get replaced with. You know what I mean? Like, I'll see these guys somewhere, and I can't wait to see those guys, 100%. But I put out in our little group chat, like, I'm thinking about doing a Big Bend trip during
I've never been down there. I've always wanted to.
yeah, I just like, if riding your bike to somewhere where everybody is, and I'm not, like I said, I don't want to say this in conjunction with everybody going to Daytona for the reasons they're going. Mm-hmm. For me, and this is no jab at them, like, whatever you got to go to Daytona for, fuck yeah, do it. You know what I mean? That's what you're doing for your brand, your business. That's what you want. There's no hard feelings for that. Like, that's what you want. I just want to I want to go ride through roads I haven't ridden before. I want to do more of that. I want to have more of those, like,
you've already got that Daytona feather in your cap.
I want to go ride some places with some homies
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
They haven't done some areas, and I haven't done it either, and be like, you know, whenever I talk about Big Bend, I'm going to be like, man, like, me and this group of dudes, we did Big Bend together, and we're always going to share those little fucking jokes that we had and those memories and things like that. And I value that a little bit more than certain aspects of what I'm going to get at Daytona.
Right.
I don't show my bikes. I don't do that. I'll go to a show, but I'm never putting my bike in it. And you could call it a cop out, like, if I'm not competing, I can't lose, kind of thing. But when I was growing up working for Other Side Customs, like, it just instilled in me, like, you never compete with your customers.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what I mean? So I don't want to go paint 2 bikes for Daytona and then go compete against those guys in a bike show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's that? Glen guys told me one time, they're like, dude, we quit showing because, like, you're going against people that you're selling parts to, and like, what's the point of that? Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, they're not going to buy your shit if you keep beating up on them, you know?
At the end of the day, in the world we live in now, to win a show at an event, it means something to you at the time. Like, to win an FXR show is at Sturgis, if you're an FXR guy, that means something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Huge.
It really does. But we haven't really, even though Hardcore Cycles is killing it, they're creating that for the rest of the industry. Up until then, we haven't really got that yet to where, like, it means something to win so-and-so at said event, right?
Yeah.
If you post your bike on social media and everybody and their fucking mom reposts it, like, that's the same fucking thing as getting a trophy.
Yeah.
Pretty
Like,
much.
your bike is going everywhere
Without even
around the
having to go
world.
there.
I mean, Ben's bike right now, the Instagram Macau's, I mean, that thing's gone around the globe twice now. It's probably in Mars already. And it's not even done. It's sitting on a lift.
Yeah. That bike's sick.
It's just it's cool to go to a show. The bike doesn't matter when you're there, really. It doesn't. It's just being with everybody. And
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying, like, there's certain things that, like, for me, that is the part of going to a show that I don't want to take away from anybody else. But like I said, all those same people that I want to, all those peers in the industry that are going to be in Daytona, most of those guys I expect to see at the Campout.
True.
Right? Those other individuals that are building bikes go to that show, I'm stoked that they built that bike. I'm going to be even more stoked if they ride it to a Campout.
Yeah. Put smiles on it.
You know what I mean? Because at that point, I'm like, fuck, you rode that here? That's badass. Like, you know, I want to talk to that guy now because to me, he's chosen to be on another level as to just building a bike and taking it to an event.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like, how was it riding through the desert? How was it riding through the snow? How was it riding through all the conditions that you had to go through to be here?
Yeah.
And to me, that's what Performance Baggers is about. And I think that's what we're going to lose this year with these bikes.
The competition's going to go too much.
The competition is going to get, because the bar's getting raised. I mean, the bikes that are coming out, they're going to be high.
Yeah.
And the people that are going to come and answer to that are going to be the big wheel bagger crowd. Mm-hmm. And at that point, that crowd does not know how to ride bikes. So therefore, and that is a jab. Those guys are not, those guys that build those bikes in the big wheel bagger community,
Load them in a trailer.
they're going to load them in a trailer with the other bikes that they're taking there, and
Yeah.
then they're gonna go flaunt Sturgis and Daytona. Mm-hmm. You're not going to see these dudes riding Campouts. You're not going to see them going and doing normal trips with their boys across the country. And that's going to devalue what made this cool. Therefore, I'm back on Dynas.
So you're a Donnie guy now. He's going full circle. Got a fucking T-sport, and he's just
He's got long socks on.
needs a monocle
No,
now.
I don't do long socks.
So camp out week, is this going to be like a thing, really?
I hope so. Was I telling you? I was being a fucking downer the other day about the camp out, right?
Yeah.
Look, this is the 5th year of the camp out, right? And we've had other people want to do camp outs over the years, and we've been nothing but supportive of everybody that wants to do one. There's paying homage to the people that have started this whole trend, and not that I've started a camp out and whatever. In this genre of our bikes, in this scene, we did, right?
100%.
And so when everybody else and their mom wants to do a camp out now, but then they want to go online and say, well, we're going to have this because this is going to be a better camp out because the FASTLIFE doesn't have that. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, you know why we don't have fucking all those amenities that you want? Because we're not a fucking rally.
Too many people at Fast Life camp out already, so stay home.
Yeah, stay home, faggot.
We don't want you, dirt.
Not welcome.
Yeah. This will be to me, this year will be the year that decides whether or not it's going to keep going.
I hope so, man. It's a rad deal.
It is.
Is it?
The people that go
Yeah.
and have the balls to go be a part of it and not sit back in the corner and be like, oh, fuck you guys, you didn't follow me on the way here, whatever. Those people, everybody that goes and tries to be a part of it, they fucking walk away going, that was epic. I love it.
What else could you want? You know, Adam's a super nice cat.
He is.
Nice facility, great riding.
Yeah.
What do you want?
They're sick.
Yeah, but I'm not this year. This is the thing this year that I don't want to deal with anymore is I don't want to deal with like the stress of doing things for people that I don't get anything out of.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what I get out of the camp out is, hey man, thank you. I appreciate you putting this on. This was amazing. That's what I get. And then I guess if I sell T-shirts, I might get a couple dollars off that, right? But we wanted to do door money to get in. That way we can pay to have more shit there for people to see and do. But I haven't quite figured that whole narrative out
People
yet.
will pay $5 to go to some bar or listen to some shitty local band.
Or watch a sports ball game.
Or
Sports ball?
yeah.
I mean,
I don't know, man. Like
$20.
I have so much work. I'm trying to make this podcast happen. The camp out is kind of a well-oiled machine the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do want to make it better every year. I want to make it more of what we enjoyed from the last year, the next year kind of thing. But I also don't want to fucking go defend it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend 3 months out of the year trying to compel people to, you should come to our camp out instead of the other 5 new ones that have never happened.
Yeah.
That those people never
They're
came
20
to our
minutes
camp
down the
outs.
road.
Your camp out slogan should probably be like, fuck you, don't come to mine. Then you'll want to come.
Well, there's also that allure, like if it's
If you're not coming, you're missing out.
true.
I don't care what you
I feel that way, but at the same time, I feel like if the camp out this year will decide whether or not it continues, in my opinion, because this will be the 5th year, and if things grow, if the vibe is what it was after last year's and moving forward, then that'll give me and my friends the enthusiasm we need to push for another one. But if it gets to a point where we're defending it,
Yeah.
if we're trying to we're putting all this time and effort trying to promote it, make it a fucking destination, trying to inspire you fucking nerds to ride your bike somewhere, you know what I mean, and not go to the closest thing available, then at that point, like, fuck you. Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll go to, I can be a selfish dude too, and I just go to fucking Sturgis and do my own shit and ride bikes,
Right.
and you guys can go do Sturgis too. And guess what? It's a badass place. You're never going to get the experience at Sturgis that you'll get at our camp out.
Oh, no.
Because at our camp out, you're going to get to fucking talk and meet and hang out with everybody you follow online. And you go to Sturgis, you're going to get to see everybody you follow online.
Yep.
It's a difference.
That's like going up to Sturgis and you pull up to like the dealership in Rapid City, and there's a parking lot just to see a bikes.
Yeah.
You're like, what's here that's going on? You know,
You know what's crazy? Like that aspect, for so many people, their bike is their name tag for their Instagram.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you pull up to that dealership in Rapid City and that fucking parking lot is damn near a mile away, and then you go walk up to D&D's booth or thundermax's booth or HPI's, like your identity, and I know this nobody's going to agree with me, but let's be real, your identity is out in the parking lot.
yeah.
Right? But at a camp out, you get to roll in. Everybody's like, that's that fucking bike on Instagram. That's fucking sick. That dude was riding through the snow to get here.
Yeah.
There are dudes stoked to talk to you before you even fucking get off your bike because they were following what you did online.
Yeah.
Helmet quote. We're not taking them.
Seat's taken.
Cease taking.
Can't sit here.
Sorry, I turned your podcast into my rants.
It's all good. I enjoy
I'm
your
about to
rants.
fight them stairs again.
Man, y'all
We
got
3
some-
hours in?
5 minutes.
All right.
5 minutes.
So we can wrap it up. Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
That's where you get your motor cut.
Yeah. Dude, our motors are running 10 to 15 degrees cooler than a stock fin motor. So
Serious?
my
Nice.
red bike clocked 18 degrees cooler. So it's not just cool looking, it's cool. You
It's
know?
actually cooler.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, that's pretty cool shit, you know. I mean, I like
How
it.
do you think that works? Like by releasing, it allows
You
more
expand
air
the
surface.
area.
More surface area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Closest point to A to B, you know, straight line. Well, we're not doing a straight line, so expanding it. But no, that right there, I think it's a cool look. You know, it's something that's different. I'm tired of seeing, you know, I mean, we work with Diamond Head. We see all their stuff. We send our stuff over to them. They cut both.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty cool for the show bikes. But the pineapple cut, you know, is probably one of the.
It's pretty unique.
Yeah, it's kind of different, and it helps too. So, and it's starting to come over to the performance side, and you know, I got a few guys that are interested in it. You know, I had one guy call me. He's like, "Dude, I'm at 12 o'clock all the time." He said, "My motor's not getting any air." You know, so I was like, "Well, you know, we'll do it for you and see if it works." You know,
Yeah.
go with it. So, it's a pretty cool deal.
That's cool. And then the shop. What part of Oklahoma is it in?
Right in the center, like Oklahoma City. We're right there. You know, the fairgrounds. We're just like maybe 3 minutes to the east of the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Not east, west.
We're
I don't know if I'm at
1
right now.
mile north of I-40 and maybe
Yeah, we're right by Harley
2
World.
or 3 miles west of I-35.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty. You're in the crack there.
Yeah, we're right
Crack,
there. Yeah.
The
it's
west side of Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
Not, yeah, it's not too hard to get to us. So
Well, cool. Well, they can find you at RPM Designs.
RPM Designs. Yeah.
Yeah.
RPM__ Designs. That's us.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. I guess they didn't have one underscore at the time when I did it. So I don't know.
You had to one up them.
Yeah. So I had
The
to
one
get-
down 'em?
I had to get the name I wanted. So go under it and do two.
And they can follow. Oh, Donnie here.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Dude,
fuck
your
up, Donnie.
your Instagram is worth a follow.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I was looking at it earlier. I was like, there's all these great fucking things on there because you post like genuinely like good day vibes
Yeah.
on your shit, and I feel like you should have more of a Instagram following with "Shut the fuck up, Donnie."
It's a good one.
I
That's
just
how
like a funny shit.
I heard his name and I was like, shit. It's a
He's
cool
really good
Instagram name.
No, it'd be cool, man. I think it'd be cool to see you guys. You know, we do this polar ride. It'd be cool to bring your shop, your brand into it with the Rebels Den and us, and
Yeah, I would love to be part
then
of
the
it.
camp out, man. Like it'd be dope to have you guys there and bring more of the Oklahoma City crowd.
I'll
Yeah.
be there for
You know.
sure.
We got a few guys up there that are kind of savvy to the new
Man,
stuff. and,
all the scene takes is a couple of dudes
Yeah.
that are willing to hang out. You know what I mean? You know, our bike nights they're bigger online than they are in person.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's 5 dudes there, you know, and sometimes there's 20,
Yeah.
sometimes there's 50.
Yeah.
It's consistency that makes everything work. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, tacos across the street from Reno's are the shit, so that's nice to get some good tacos.
Good old street tacos.
is this alcoholicism?
What?
Alcoholicism.
I didn't do bad.
You got
Do too bad.
6 beers? That's not a problem.
What'd you do? 6?
I did 5. I'm on my 6th.
Oh, okay.
I'm scared of them stairs.
Oh, we'll carry you.
Need to get one of those.
It's a lot faster if
electric
you just go head
things.
first. Yeah, can you get one of them old lady things?
We were
Chairs.
thinking about putting a fucking pole, like you can slide down.
No.
That's gonna be hard to stop on one leg.
I said
No,
let's
he
get
said,
a pole,
oh.
and he said no, that's gay.
It's still gay, but I'm not saying it ain't usable.
I don't know if I can stop 220 with one leg. Fucking right in the ground.
Wish I was 220.
Yeah, shit. Those rookie numbers, you get those numbers up.
Get them up.
All right. Thank you for that. All right. We're good. Thank you.
Peace.